Logan, you're showing a lot of energy right now.
Welcome back.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a lot better!
So Vestige of Ophiuchus. Campaign 1.
Oh, wait.
The Cauldron. Session
Amazing.
143.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Campaign 1.
This is a round where a critical role campaign would be ending.
Yeah.
We're
I
not.
think we're past that point.
We're not.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, we might if we all die today.
It's true.
So don't fuck it up.
Boy, let's go.
I've been told to show less energy, I guess. I didn't know until now this was a note, but
Yeah.
I guess this was a note, so I'm just gonna be real chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
You
turn-
know,
I'll be your hype man, Logan.
You take direction well. I'm proud of you.
I do. Can you be quiet?
Look,
Be
I'm
more
just happy
subdued,
with-
but keep the excitement. Like, keep the energy going. We want the spot to still hit, but like, we need it to be less.
We don't want
Okay.
an announcery.
Oh my god!
What does that mean?
Everything I book is me going against the sides.
Yup.
Fucking, we don't want to be an announcery. All right. Come down to Pot-Take, it's fucking Putlock Chicken, and get a new deal of chicken for $4.68 off. It is. You want an announcery. Fucking, you do. You just don't.
You do.
You just
Like you're
nervous
You don't want to
about it.
say it.
My favorite is we don't want voice actors. We want
Right.
real people.
What do you
We are real people.
What the fuck? I'm gonna turn off the dour music here. I'm gonna turn off.
That's what comes first.
I know.
Turn on
Human being, then voice actor.
Nah, we're not real people.
That's true.
And if you can't give us a real human being, we will get this done with an AI. Anyhow.
Oh.
So, welcome back to Vestige of Ophiuchus. It's us. We're back. It's the, what, second...
Everyone disliked that.
Second Saturday of the month. It's us. We're in the middle of Dino Country. And because I feel like doing it again today, I'm going to give somebody a shot at recapping last game, which honestly shouldn't be very hard. 2, the recap goes to Cody.
Oh, yay.
Oh my Cody.
Cody is overheating and eager to talk.
So happy, so eager.
The dinosaurs.
What?
The dinosaurs.
Just let him
Yeah.
go. Just let him go.
Dinosaurs. Well, the dinosaur things didn't really go down that much because we had to fight a giant robot first. This member of the family, or at least like the family that was like not wanting to be the family anymore, but still kind of the family, had this big dagger robot. And with the dagger robot, the DGR, if you will, they were wanting to myrtleize us. So we were like, hey, yo, Valtenitrum, we're gonna murderize it back. And he's like, bet. And then we did murderize it after it fucking eventually came within range of a lot of our attacks. And then finally it got knocked onto the ground. It fell into water. It tried to hit Flux. But then another member of the family, this time the real family, came by and said, this is going to be legend, wait for it, dairy, and murdered the man.
I'm super happy that people noticed that in the interim.
And murdered the man's, at which point he's like, hey, yo, I'm not on your squad, not on your team. I'm kind of like big deal. I'm the big deal that takes out the big deals. Don't worry about it. I'm watching you, but we're never gonna meet again. Wink. And then just kind of went away, like a little guy. We then turned to Valtenitra. I'm like, hey, yo, we did that thing, and he's like, not impressed. Still fucking, you can't have the guy. And I'm like, well, but I want the guy and the axe. And he's like, well, you can't have either one of those. And I'm like, but I really want something. And he's like, too bad, bitch. And finally it's like, hey, yo, what if we say we're gonna do what you do? We'll eventually have that deal, but like also we can talk to him first. And he's like, you cute, all right. And now we're here.
Valtenitrum will henceforth be played as if he is Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
You want to talk to the Nephilim, bitch? Gonna have to talk to him one-on-one.
And now I'm gonna go talk to him.
Dinosaurs, bitch!
It'll be amazing.
Dinosaurs, bitch.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
We're getting a bunch of shows in this recap.
That's true. All right. Okie dokie.
I do good.
Yeah, you
I
did
don't
good.
forget
Yeah.
thing.
You guys fought the DGR unit, and you made a deal with Valtenitrum to speak to Calates, but only one-on-one, only if the others left, with your weapons being taken away, except for nets, apparently, I've been informed. Which, sure, you can keep the nets. I can't wait to see what trouble you get up to with 2 nets.
Oh,
he's
you
gonna
don't
catch so
think I
much.
can?
Throw one over Calates, throw him over your back, and run away.
Hell yeah.
I throw one over Valtenitrum, one over Calates, take them both. These are mine now.
Then off into the woods he scampered. Never to be seen again.
Okay. So
Very quiet for anyone else.
Yes.
Am I quiet?
You are quiet,
well,
yes, Kat.
quiet.
Are you 10 feet away from your mic, my beautiful
No,
friend?
my mic's right next to
Ooh.
my fucking face. My
No, my mic's in my room, in the same room I'm in.
God.
My audio's been being weird. One sec, let me shut down and come back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye.
I'm going to miss them.
Who was that?
I don't know. They sound pretty though.
Yeah.
I feel like I forgot something important.
Did you?
Oh, that I was a giant annoyance.
Oh, you were, yes. the entire time, it's like, hey, yo, convince me, and it's like, no.
No, not even
yeah.
that. No, not even that. That I was bothering totally not Neil Patrick Harris. I was like, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Playing with
that.
my food, yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the way, Logan,
That
while we
was
wait
fine,
for-
though.
That was just fun. Avi was in a, I feel like being a butthole mood.
Okay.
She was being in a butthole mood. I feel like that's her permanent mood.
No, there's different levels of.
There's
yeah,
different levels.
this is a major butthole. If we're
There's
talking
butthole,
size.
asshole, ass hat.
They keep being too familiar with me. All right, bitch. I'm a play. Anyway, fucking Logan, I was out for dinner with Alejandro because I was like, hey, we're going out because I've been staring at these walls and I need to not see I need to not be in my office for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed him the art of the Blood Elf. And I was like, babe, all right, so I need you to tell me who you think this looks like. And I showed it to him, and within seconds, he's like, Neil Patrick Harris?
Yep.
Like, immediately, I was like, yeah! He's like, it's the hair.
Blood Up is thinking that girl was super hot.
He's like, did he say legendary? I was like, no, but I'm sure he will eventually.
No, he's never coming back.
Oh, you never see
I'm
him again.
sure.
We're never going to see them again, wink.
Not everything's about you guys. He's not there for you guys.
No, it is. It's about us.
Oh,
We'll
I've
see him
decided.
in the next Crystal Tiefling game.
He'll be the antagonist of a side campaign, I'm sure. Or maybe he'll be the mentor of someone or something. I don't know. Or morally gray.
That's super fun.
Ooh.
I'm back. Do I sound better or no?
Ooh, you sound the
Hello.
same.
What the fuck?
Have you tried turning up your gain?
Uh-oh.
Try that.
I'm messing with stuff. Am I the same? No.
Yes, you're the same.
Goddamn.
Welcome to Vestige of Ophiuchus, everybody. This is what D&D is.
Please hold for scuff.
Everyone tick
How
off.
about
I guess
now?
tick off technical.
Wait for me to be super fucking loud.
How?
Yeah, you're a little
Is
bit
that better?
louder. A little tiny bit.
A little bit
How?
loud? What the fuck?
How?
Ow.
How?
Ow.
How?
Ow.
How about now?
Hey, you know what? We'll
How
just,
about
you're good. You can. It's fine. We can hear you.
Okay.
If we want to tinker with it more, let's wait till break or something. It's
Sure.
functional. Game. As you guys, I'm gonna switch the screen over 1 sec. Hold on. I don't know what you think of what's that blood up. Super.
Hell yeah.
Nothing suits me like a suit.
Wingman I can wear.
Oh!
Hell yeah. Let's
The perfect way to snare a girl with daddy issues. In navy blue or black. Check out this perfect rack. I want to give them a squeeze.
Oh, really?
Man, Making sure everyone changed their reactives. Yes, we don't have any DMS people sneaking in here. Good.
I almost left Theo on just because.
I almost forgot. You almost had a Brayden.
I had Nimric up for like 5 minutes before I realized.
I'm glad you guys got it. Okay, so guys, so at this point, the party is being escorted out, and you are being taken back to the entrance. You are being asked to leave the mountain, to leave Zilla, which I will continue to switch between saying Zyla and Zilla because I want
Amazing.
to.
Cool.
Heck, and you're being escorted back out to the entrance of it, except for Quintus. You guys have, just to confirm, taken his items, right? You've taken Quintus's weapons for him.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Is there anything else you guys want to do before you do that?
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
Mr. Quintus, could I talk to you about something?
Sure. What's going on, Flux?
Actually,
I'm trying to remember all these things, and whew.
Sorry to add, this may add even more to your plate. The rest of you should listen to this as well.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this since I had my vision, but I feel certain of it now. I think Velis has been here. And I think he is manipulating the chain breakers.
What?
There was a particular word when I had the vision of Velis and Vanderbilden. Velis used the phrase key to reclamation for you and everyone like you. And then, very soon afterwards, we met the chain breakers, and they said that this would be a chance at freedom and reclamation that may never come again. That wording seems so specific, and their goals are so aligned that I do not believe that could be a coincidence.
Oh.
I think Velis has been here. I think he is stoking both the frame built and the Nephilim to side with Diane. I don't fully understand what the end goal might be, but I feel certain that this is playing into his hand. When you talk to Kalates, could you ask him if anyone matching your friend Raleigh's description has been here?
Of course, yes.
Oh. That's a good idea.
Good.
Do
Excellent.
you think he would know what that, she gestures to the badge, and you can see she's clearly looking for the word for badge.
Oh, the PML?
Doohickey.
The pommel?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely. If Kalates knows anything about the PML or the pommel, whatever its function actually is, I think we definitely need to know.
All right,
Should
so
you give that to him so he can show him what it looks like?
We boarding you, Fenris?
Not at all.
I'm sorry, Brayden.
Insensitive.
if you'll let me take it to him, then I'll be it might help.
You'll have to forgive me. This last fight took a lot out of me.
I'm sorry.
Blinks with one eye and then the other.
Yes, absolutely. If they will let you take it with you, then yes, I think that could be valuable.
So
I'll hand him the... Oh?
Or we maybe draw up what it looks like so then you're not away from it. We don't know what might be waiting for us down there. We already know
you
we're
draw
being
it then?
launched.
Aviana?
I'm not sure how
You're
much
the
time we
artist
have.
of us.
They're all looking at me, but I think that I have the gist of everything. I need to ask about what Kalates told Diane. I need to check out if he knows anything about what this sword of Damocles is, or where it is. I need to ask about Raleigh, potentially, and this PML. Should I bring up the chain breakers? I know that they are trying to be secretive, but...
Maybe not.
I would say ask about someone fitting Raleigh's description first, and get a sense of what he already knows.
Okay. I know that we don't really think on a lot of the things that Chainbreakers have said, but at the same time, I don't also feel like getting in the way of everything going on, especially since it seems peaceful for the moment.
Not everything is ours to meddle with.
Is that everything I need to ask about?
Oh, before you go, I'm just gonna pull out a page from my notebook and use magical tinkering to just make an image of the PML form.
Yeah, it's definitely better. I can't draw that well.
Oh, that was quick.
Just make a fucking photocopy of it real quick.
Just
All right.
printing it out slowly.
If there's anything else I can think of while I'm there, if they'll allow it, I'll ask. But it's all right. I'll be right there as soon as I'm done here.
I believe in you, Quintus.
Am I boring you?
Told you all, I am tired. I have been casting spells from morning till night. I'm sorry. I shall take my leave then. I wish not to offend. Fenris will excuse herself from the group and wait for everyone to be fucking sorry, I'm tired, guys.
I'm gonna turn
I just
you
did a
back
hero's
down.
piece. Sorry.
That's okay. You scream your heart out. I'm just gonna turn you down a bit.
I did a hero's feast. I did find the path. I've done so many spells. It's been a long day, y'all.
Sunder walks up behind the group. He's like, yeah, just 1 second. He shrinks.
Amazing.
All right, then. Until then.
Okay.
You got this, Quinn. Cheeky.
Oh, well, all right. Yes, let's. All right, let's go.
I think
don't
you
do
made him.
that.
just
I've never
forget
been more confident.
I think you just made him forget
Oh
everything.
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Wendy,
No,
no.
I know exactly what I'm. No, everything's. I got it. I'll get it.
Sunder hands you a piece of parchment.
Okay, good.
I was taking notes. I wrote everything down for you.
Oh,
Oh, good boy,
that's
Thunder.
that's. Wow. Hats.
He's coming for my
Good job.
brand.
He smiles.
Didn't get going.
So proud of that boy.
He will go toward Valdenitrum, weaponless. He'll leave his nets behind too. With his 2 pieces of paper. All right, I think I have everything.
Good luck, sir.
All right. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, one of the ones that is sitting beside Valdenitrum, stomps its way out of the murky water and up onto the platform. As it does, the Jurider that was not knocked off his platform jumps down off the top of it and lands on the T-Rex, points forward, and this little, almost like pterodon-looking raptor-like Kaijo points forward. He's like, "Hacha! Goita!" and points, walks up to you guys, points to each of you, and then points out to the entrance. Very enthusiastically, just repeatedly, just, "Goita! Goita!"
Yeah, we're going.
Assuming
Understand what they're saying?
No.
You can infer.
Oh.
I can.
Yeah, Quintus is just like, "Get out of here! Go!
Shoo!
Let me
Filthy
guess.
animals!"
White devil, white devil.
Oh, everybody.
As you guys, assumedly as you follow it, the T-Rex and the Jurider would escort the lot of you out. As this goes on, Stompix will descend down from where he was. Where's his stick?
I have it. Marion gave it to me.
He walks up to you, squinting. The little dinosaur eyes, squinting. And he gets close to you, like inches.
Looks at him.
The last couple feet towards you, he stops and just inches, like 1 foot in front of the other towards you, and then puts one hand out towards you, still squinting at you.
Give me my stick. Give me my staff.
Maybe when we're done.
Why won't you give me my staff?
I have to make sure that I have something.
Walks by you.
Come with me.
He will follow after him. He will look back toward Valtenitrim.
Still lean. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I hope that we can have a better conversation next time. Thank you for allowing this.
Still leaning, just off on the side, leaning on his fist with his arm on the side of the chair. He gives a momentary smirk towards you. You get the feeling of almost a doldrum-like feeling from him. He seems unenthused at the prospect of your future presence around him.
He will turn back around and start walking after.
As the rest of the group is escorted down to the entrance, you guys are led out on a part of the mountain that is a bit elevated. Another entrance that is not the underground little chasm that you had to pass through, that you fought through to get into it. You are taken out to an area that lets out more on the southern side of the mountain. And once you are there, you find there is a effective platoon of other Kaijo of varying shapes and sizes that are staying at a distance, keeping an eye on you guys. Before we dive too much into Quintus and what he's doing, is there anything you guys want to do once you're outside? By the way, by this time, the despoliation effect seems to have passed. It seems to be gone.
I was very much hoping they would release us to the same area in hopes of finding dinosaur teeth. Damn it.
You wanted to, pick the corpses of their fallen allies in front of them, didn't you?
I was going to be looking at the ground to see if I saw a tooth.
Oh.
But I guess not.
At this point, by the way, it is about 5 a.m. The earliest signs of light coming over the horizon are, like, the sun is not rising, but the faintest sliver of reddish-orange is on the horizon at this point. Oh yes, I forgot to do my thing. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of September, of the year 758, the second age, 5 a.m. Cool, good.
Right.
Someday when someone wants to build a comprehensive wiki, me calling these out at the start of every game is going to be useful to somebody.
I do put them in my notes. It's helpful for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, is there anything that you guys like to do outside?
I don't.
Yes, actually. Oh, did you have a thing?
No.
Okay, you're just so taken
I
aback.
don't want to be made fun of anymore for being tired.
No!
But maybe we should take a rest.
I'm gonna lean down to, like, Lexi's ear. With all fox ears.
We know we're being followed and watched. You've the best eyes and ears of all of us. Think you can keep an eye out more frequently?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Damn, crickets are so loud.
True.
What?
It's early morning, man.
Well, have you seen how big they are?
That's so sporadic.
The
Pick a volume.
I heard the. You haven't seen how big they are. I just imagine a fucking 10-foot cricket walking by the group, looks over at them, makes the noise, and then hops away.
Don't you know the cauldron has massive crickets? Quite the problem, really.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, that's awful.
They're delicious when fried.
Oh.
It's true.
It's a good way I know you
They're
guys
okay.
are listening to the fucking ambience and stuff by annoying you with crickets.
They're okay raw when in a pinch. But anyway.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting.
Treat yourselves better.
Well, it's either that or moldy trash food. So, you know.
Ugh.
I've had to eat that too. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Well, when you learn how to prepare it properly, it can be good. I've made
Even when it's
cricket
moldy?
chips. No. I thought we were still discussing bugs. Forgive me.
Oh no.
Go take a nap, Fenris.
Okay.
Goodness.
I'm gonna find a lovely patch of ground, I guess, put my bedroll down and tuck in.
I'm switching from passive listening to active listening. I know.
Over a long period of time, it's still your passive perception.
Shit!
Isn't that better?
I mean,
Isn't
maybe.
your passive fucking nuts?
Yeah, my passive was gross. It's 25.
As a rogue with religion.
Yeah.
Yes,
Your
your
passive
passive is
perception.
better. Your passive is better than their normal perception with a
Yeah, it's
reliable
true.
talent.
It's true.
All right.
I'm passively doing it then. Cool. Good.
Okie dokie. Quintus.
Aye.
Though you did not see it before, you are led to what appears to be a sacred area of sorts. It is a large circular chamber that has... one second, I'm going to actually pull a thing up real quick. Boop-a-doop-a-doop, boop-boop. Where are you? Doop, doop-doop-doop-doop. There. You're brought to a large circular chamber in which you see a, what appears to be a crude statue of some kind of creature. It's hard to tell its exact details, but it looks to be a colossal depiction of some kind of deific dinosaur in the center of this massive, like, 40-foot radius wide circular area. The ground is littered with different minerals that have been traced into the ground into circles and religious iconography. This appears to be a temple or an area of prayer of some sort. As you are brought here, Stompix just looks up towards you.
Remain here. I'll be back in a bit with him. You're not to be shown where he's kept.
What if I give you this?
Will you?
I am a knight. The only thing I have is my word.
Give it to me.
As soon as we get there.
Give it to me now.
You will most likely take off without it, or without bringing me.
Give it to me now!
Can I insight him to see if he is just planning on rushing away?
Go ahead.
I don't feel like you need to.
Well, I have a 0, so.
I mean, he's been ordered to do a thing, and he's doing it for you one way or another. It's not like he's gonna run off and never show up again.
He will hand it off.
Roll me a persuasion check. And also, music, it's a bit much. Okay.
Thank you.
Like I said, I am one of my word.
Follow me.
You will?
Okay. He leads you through another path from this chamber. As you move through the mountain, you follow several paths, some naturally occurring caves, some of them constructed areas that clearly were built out of it. You eventually pass over a bridge that spans this massive chasm that just descends down into darkness. You are eventually led to a long corridor that has a massive, maybe a dozen large openings carved into the walls that look to be cells, each of which has a wooden wall built in front of it with a door and several metallic bars, as you recognize what appears to be a rudimentary either stable for dinosaurs or a prison, depending on how it's used.
Oh.
You are brought over to one of them at the far end. It is unlocked. You see there is a pathway that leads yet further down into the mountain through this particular doorway. You're brought down further into a chamber that is sealed with a large stone door. There is another one of the Kaijo Guardians, the larger sorts, beside it. As Stompix walks up to it, you hear him in the language of the Kaijo,
just being like, we're going to be going in there and we're going to interrogate. Speak to the prisoner. Please open this.
The large guardian nods. This rippling mass of muscle that is this Kaijo guardian moves towards it, grabs a handle on the stone door, and rather than operate a lock, they pull at this massive stone slab, and you can hear shaking in the cave as it pulls it back and away. Revealing a chamber that has several torches lit in a circle, at the center of which there seems to be a circular, it looks like effectively a bench, and not much else in there. There's a pool of water in the center of it. It looks to be fresh water, but it is a still pool with a single pitcher sitting beside it. And sitting on this circular bench that spans around it, you see that there is what appears to be a Nephilim. They look, as most Nephilim do, they look to be in their late 20s compared to a human. Same astrological symbols that are mostly silver in their skin. They have light blue colors to their eyes and hair. Their hair is about medium length, it's a bit messy, and you see that they have glasses, the left lens of which has cracks running down it, as if it had been broken, but the other lens is fine. And they look a bit dour. You also see that their hands are bound in wooden manacles in front of them. They still seem to have movement and versatility. Oh, are we good?
Mm-hmm.
I just heard. Cody, are we good?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still here.
Okay. They look up as the stone door opens. Stompix motions for you to go in.
They'll start walking in.
They wait at the entrance. With you going inside, the Nephilim slowly looks up to you. There's a tired look in their eyes. You see bags under them.
The face of a human. Didn't think I'd be seeing another one of you so soon.
Have you had many visitors since being here?
Since the family discarded me to be guarded by these people, I have not. I take it, based on what I was told, you must be a member of the highest standard.
Yes, I am Quinn. I have been
Vanderbilt.
Yes. Sorry.
Is the highest standard, are the rest of them not available for this? He looks over to the Kaijo that are waiting outside, peering into the room from the darkness.
What I might have expected to be a sort of rescue, but it seems to not be. Is it just you?
Everyone is here, but we had came to rescue you. But it seemed that if we had tried without knowing where you were, you would have been killed. So we had decided that it would be best to attempt to work with them. And in return, I was able to make my way here and ask you a few questions, if you wouldn't mind.
I'll be staying here a while longer, won't I?
Yes, I'm sorry. We are unfortunately dealing still with everything that is going on with the family, or I guess at this point, part of the family that has went off from them. And it is time sensitive that we stop them.
Yes.
And
you have until the Night of Blind Queens.
Yes. Are you well enough to speak with me about what you had told Diane?
I am. However, pardon my impertinence. I mean no offense. Is the rest of the highest standard, are they indisposed?
No, we made a deal.
So they require information on what's going on from the lorekeeper of Pezodromos, and the one that they had sent to collect it was Quintus Vanderbilt.
Yes. There's a second where it's like, is he making fun of me? No, I'm playing.
Oh, good. Then
you seem to
what
know
I was told
much
about you by Diane hopefully proves to be untrue.
I'm sure that there were exaggerations, but I have not put my best foot forward when it comes to them.
Well, if I'm not going to get out of here, if things are time sensitive, tell me what it is you wish to know. I imagine that you are likely curious about what the family dragged out of me and what they're doing, but... Oh? I'm getting a call from our landlord.
Oh no.
It's alright, Calates. Landlords are important. And, yours right now, Valtanitrum, he's a bit finicky. Not gonna lie.
Bit of a
Quinn
dick.
likes landlords.
Can you give me 1 second to send
Yeah.
a message?
Yeah, of course.
You're good.
No problem.
Okay.
Intermission! Music portion!
I apologize.
You would
I'm
know.
going to
Now
go
you're
on
on
mute for just a second.
Fanny,
You're fine, you're fine.
Fanny,
Oh my god, I can't believe she's in so
I
much fucking trouble.
love you! Yeah, wow.
How?
I hate that this, I hate this person
It
just
also
like...
works for Fenny Fufu, which makes me very happy.
I hate that this person was just like, wait, so they out of everyone.
How dare they? Like,
The fucking
And
shade.
Quinn was sitting there like, at first just like, just swallow it down, Quintus, it's fine.
oh.
I taste blood, but okay. Continue what you were saying.
But Pog, cool, got it.
He
Awesome.
says Pog.
I
It's
see
all right,
it in
Quintus,
chat
you
for
are-
me, but Pog.
It's alright, Quintus, you are Avi's little pog champ. You can do this.
Hey, I never canonically said that. Fuck off.
And
This
I
is your
never-
inner Avi. Go fuck yourself.
Damn.
What's my inner
This
Avi
is
talking
your
about
e-
cannons?
This is your inner Fenris. You should look for teeth.
Amazing.
Oh, Calates, hold
So
on.
crowded in here, Jesus!
Oh,
What we doing, guys? Why
Can you move over, Vogan? God.
I just want the inner Vogan to be just wearing an apron and have like fucking barbecue in one hand.
Yeah.
Feed Apollo real quick because he keeps going for my ankles. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
I'm
no.
hungry. Fuck,
because
I'll be right back.
I kept saying when Quim was gone, talking about the inner Quim for Vogan is just like, hey Vogan, can you help me spread the sunscreen on my back and or
I'm sorry. My muscles are
Goodness.
just undulating, so. Won't you help
know,
me
some-
tire them?
Some sort of
so?
imagination.
And in this one, in the inner Vogan, he's just wearing a naked apron and has meat.
Yeah. It's the most attractive man in the world.
Everyone else
I
is
mean,
just
yeah.
exactly how they are, including Lexi. But for some reason, Vogan
Only
is
Vogan,
fucking
yep. Mhm.
like,
It's like-
oh, I forget what they always call the guy. You know those like paperback romance novels with the long-haired dude? And
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
What is the
I'm back.
stereotype? Okay. never mind.
Hello.
I
Anyway, that's
just sent
Logan.
an email back to our landlord.
What?
They're being very persistent
Were
about
you
a
like,
thing.
I work on Saturdays, don't fucking contact me.
Not in those words.
She's in trouble.
But I just had to send a thing being like, they're being very immediately persistent about a thing, about fixing the stuff, the painting stuff that's gonna have to get done.
Yeah.
And nobody else responded to their email, so I had to do it. But heckin' boo 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 boo. I'm good. Let's return to what we're doing.
Hooray!
All right, heckin'. As you were, Cody.
Yes, the first thing, if you would not mind, if you could tell me everything that you had told Diane, so that we can know what their next move is. And we can know where to find them, hopefully.
You want me to tell you everything that I told Diane?
I have paper.
How much?
Mostly the important thing is where to find them. We need to be able to stop them, whatever they plan on doing. We cannot allow what they found
I can't tell you where they are. It would be irresponsible of me.
But sir, isn't it better for someone else to know?
There's a more immediate problem than what Diane is doing right now. That is to say, you're asking where they went to find the Sword of Damocles. And I imagine they've led you to believe that that is the main thing you should worry about. But if you've been in any kind of contact with Diane, I'm sad to inform you, they're likely using that as a distraction from what they're really doing right now.
Is that so? And what is it that they're doing?
This would be hard to explain without relating to you the history of why it is relevant. Rather, if you're going to get involved in the things that you're going to get involved in, you need to understand a certain historical importance to what's going on.
I will not let you down. I will retain this information. Please, just let me know.
What I'm about to tell you, he sits, is knowledge that was buried by the Eidolons. It was their wish that it never reaches anyone outside the cauldron. Knowing that, are you sure? Are you sure you wish to know?
Yes. I need to stop them.
You may want to sit.
You will sit down.
Everyone, fucking get your journals out if you
I'm
want to take
fucking
notes.
ready. I'm fucking ready.
Oh Jesus!
I've got my
Hayden
Hayden journal
ready
out.
to
This
go.
is gonna
Yeah,
be,
we're all just gonna
this
copy
is,
Hayden's
This is
homework
gonna be
as a
one
plan.
of them days.
Okay, where to start? While performing my duties, you know that I am the lore keeper for Pesadromos, right?
Yes, I was informed. I was a little late to get here, but yes.
I had found that our well of records, that is our place, our library that I am in charge of, that it has a secret undercroft. There's a storehouse of knowledge there that has been used by all who held my position. It has accounts from Nephilim who were sworn to secrecy, who had knowledge that Vestius in particular had wished to be forgotten. I believe to understand the family's motivations, and I will continue calling them that even though I have come to learn that they do not wish to be part of the family anymore. I believe that it is important that you understand this. What do you know of your history? Do you know that there were originally 12 Eidolons, even though only 8 are active, correct?
My allies have said something similar, due to a thing that they have recently seen, yes.
Each of the 12, that is to say, 3 sets of 4 each served a primary god, ones that your culture don't account for. Beings that defied the concept of divinity that you likely account to your gods, that we account to ours. Those 3 primal gods were Nemesine, who holds the primeval order of time and memory, Cetesk, the primeval orders of isolation and gravity, and Ophiuchus, who holds the primeval orders of light and space. Do you know about the ancient war that the Eidolons waged against beings called the Grand Primaries?
A bit. Not everything, obviously.
A group of cataclysms that threatened mankind, that almost rendered all mortal life extinct. The ones that effectively started our world by ending an old one. But that's not necessarily part of this story. During their conflict with the Grand Primaries, Nemesine created us, the Nephilim, in her image. We were her children. We were born from the lost memories and experiences of those who died in the world that the Grand Primaries trampled. Similarly, Kopeder breathed life into the Frame Built. You may know them by the name Warforged. As the battle against the Grand Primaries waged on, they had begun to work on a super weapon that could rival them. Built by all available hands, designed based on the visions of a an insane genius mage named Gregelgagor, and given shape by the frame build and the Nephilim's tireless work. That weapon is what you know to be the Sword of Damocles. It would have been mankind's greatest weapon against the Grand Primaries. And it also would have served as an idomantic resonator that would have acted as the source of the idomantic web to spread magic to all of mankind again. It is my understanding that knowledge on the outside says that the Sword of Damocles was made to destroy Vestius.
It was told to be some sort of a god-slaying weapon, yes.
It was originally created to aid the gods. However, it was not completed in time. The final battle against the Grand Primaries came too soon, and the Eidolons managed to defeat them without the use of the Sword of Damocles. Like Rothemia, one of our moons was turned into the resonator the sword would have been, and the sword remained unfinished. Are you keeping up, Quintus Valorbilt?
I am trying. My brain is still cooking, but I'm doing my best.
Pretty hot.
Oh.
Eons later, a schism formed. A war began silently. The Eidolons of the Twilight Authority and Nemesis desired a world they knew the others would reject. One where all of time would be compressed into a single moment, and all beings would experience eternal happiness, trapped in only the most positive moments of their lives, of what had happened and would happen. Knowing that the others would turn against them, Kobetter put the Nephilim and Framebuilt to work, finally finishing the Sword of Damocles to act as a sort of vanguard against Vestius in particular. Not only that, but they built lesser constructs based on its design. They're made of the same material. Do you know what a constelliquary is? You have some, right?
Yes, well, not me, but, I mean, maybe
Valtenitrum carries an axe. That is one of them. You've seen that,
yes,
right?
Yes, I have been told to retrieve that, but yes.
The Sword of Damocles, as well as the early iterations of its copies, as they were, they're made of the same material, theosite, which is mined out of this very valley, out of the mid-spiral. The replications of the Sword of Damocles came to be known as DGRs, or daggers. They were to act as the sword's reinforcements in the battles to come. This is where we get into what matters to what's going on now. The first three replications were unique. They were called proto-daggers, or proto-DGRs. They were effectively sentient and colossal, marvels of technology, piloted either by Framebuilt or by... Do you know what an Adolos is? I don't really know what the world outside is super like.
Yes.
They were built to either be piloted by Framebuilt, other beings if they had the right equipment, or to be effectively possessed by Aydolos.
I'm
Following
guessing with
them,
their heart.
You're referring to the Sephirite that Aydolos reduced down to?
Yes.
Yes, in that form, Aydolos can possess, interact with, and even transform DGR units. Following that, following the creation of those three proto-DGRs, mass production units were created out of practical materials as theosite was in short supply. Those were smaller ones. And no doubt you've likely encountered the family operating at least one or two of those units by now. Vestius
yes.
Vestius then came to learn of the impending war due to a traitor among the Eidolons. And much unfolded. That war is ultimately irrelevant, though. What matters is that when the Sword of Damocles and the daggers that had been built took to the skies, Vestius used Lycrothemia to immediately blow them from the heavens, in the same way it was used to defeat the final Grand Primary in ancient times. They fell to Somnus Domina, mostly destroyed. The operator and navigator of the Sword of Damocles were lost, separated from the mech during the attack and the impact of the assault. It created what is now known as the Scattershot Islands in Highwave. The land before that had been solid, but it ripped the country apart and flooded it. The Framebuilt and Nephilim recovered the sword, the proto-DGRs, and they returned them to the Cauldron, and they started repairs. They hid the mass production units that had survived, or hadn't been deployed. Nemesis was defeated, the Twilight Authority lost, and the war ended. And then the Nephilim and Framebuilt were given a choice. to fall under Vestius' sway, or to be abandoned by the gods. They chose the option that guaranteed survival. But many, still loyal to the old gods, continued repairs on the sword and daggers, preparing them to one day be launched against Vestius, which is where modern knowledge of them comes from, I imagine. Eventually, the Abiding Heart would be altered to remove memories of all these events, and the frame built were put into hibernation, so their memories would be scrubbed, specifically so that the knowledge of how to create DGR units would be lost to time, as well as similar technology that bridged the gap between mortals and gods. When the frame built and the Nephilim repairing the sword here in the cauldron were found, an Aylox was sent to destroy and freeze the facility, and it did just that. The Nephilim who were there died. The frame built who were there were likely trapped. Eventually, things were lost. I initially kept all this information to myself when I learned it. The Nephilim, we modern Nephilim, we had no idea where we come from. And Vestius does not wish us to know. But the family dragged all this out of me. With this knowledge, they decided they would activate the sword. They initially only thought that they would be going to find an army of lock-minded frame-built. Little did they know that the facility where they were kept was not one where they were kept in hibernation. It was where they were frozen solid for eons. When they found out about the sword, they decided they would take control of it. I had thought that the Aylox that guards that facility, Ultramoricavium, might stop them, but if they're still active, then it must have been defeated by them. And they likely plan to use its Sephirite to activate the sword. But that's not the main threat they pose. They're turning
what possibly could be?
The Proto-DGRs. Around the cauldron, they were brought to different facilities and they were repaired. They have laid dormant, serving as a way to protect this cauldron if ever need it comes, but they're relatively docile. Most Nephilim don't even know they're around. Those that do know are sworn to secrecy. But, the DGR units you've seen, I imagine they're the ones that are 12 meters tall or so?
I've seen two. One that was being piloted by a member of the family, and another that was far underground that had been ripped out during one of the unique events that happened in this world, and it seemed to have a lot more sentience than the other.
They're partially sentient. They have certain self-preservation instincts. They do have thoughts, but whenever they're being piloted by something, they completely give over to their pilot. It is likely that if you found one and expressed anything, it was... The DGRs that remain have a strong kinship with one another, and they seem to value their ability to stay dormant, to stay free. Any actions it took were likely out of concern for other DGRs that remain in hibernation around the cauldron. However, the three Proto-DGRs don't compare to the Sword of Damocles, but they are titans among their kind. They are colossal compared to the DGRs you've seen. And currently, as Diane's working to return the sword to its functioning state, her allies have been dispatched to the facilities where the Proto-DGRs were kept in stasis, to awaken them and take control of them via pommel units, otherwise called PMLs. They're these small...
This here?
Yes, that's one of them.
We actually have one of them.
Those are used to designate pilots. By holding one of those, effectively the DGR units recognize you as one that is able to pilot one of them, and even a non-frame built would you be able to pilot one using one.
Oh. we were pointed in a direction by a DGR whenever they had noticed this. I see.
I am aware of where the family is, and I could tell you where the Sword of Damocles is buried, but the proto-daggers are the main concern. The family must be stopped from getting them. It is likely that if they know you are coming after them, they're hoping you'll waste time trying to find them and stop the sword from awakening while they activate the ProtoDGRs.
Is it their goal to do what the Sword of Damocles was meant to do? And destroy Vestius and destroy magic? Perhaps even making it the new center of magic?
They don't wish to destroy magic. But the Sword of Damocles was prepared, and it was programmed in a sense to interfere specifically with Vestius. It is a fully sentient machine. It has thoughts and feelings, but that was its purpose, and if it wakes up and it is not taken control of, it is more than likely going to pursue those old goals.
Would it then become the new, I guess, heart of magic like you said it was designed for?
Lycrothemia exists, and so that role's already been fulfilled.
I see.
Exactly what action it will take to face Vestius, I couldn't tell you. The main issue is that the sword and the proto-daggers should never leave the cauldron. The outside world's not ready for them. And if they do get out, modern frame-built and Nephilim may suffer. So, I would ask you, I assume I'm not being allowed to leave with you.
Not yet.
Then you must tell the tribunal to search for my notes. When I realized I'd be leaving, I left them. I kept a document of my findings that they can use to validate everything that I've told you, and I'm sure that they'll help you. While you are doing that, hopefully they can retrieve me from here. And if the ProtoDGR's fate is secured, then I will happily tell you where you have to go to find the Sword of Damocles.
All right. We can do that. This was, I can't express that I actually understand everything, but yes.
What you need to do is you need to go back to the Solar Tribunal.
Yes,
and tell them to search for a blue leather book in my quarters. Then you need to tell them that you'll go stop the Proto-DGRs from being taken control of, and tell them to get me. Okay?
Mm-hmm. He nods.
Say that back to me.
She did not say great things about me, did she?
She didn't. Say it back to me.
I am to make my way back to the tribunal, tell them to find your blue book, your notes that they can verify through the contents within, and then go and secure the one that we understand where its location is.
The 3 Proto-DGRs. There's 3 of them.
Do you have any idea where the other 2 would be?
The other 2.
Are they all in the same place?
No, all 3 of them are in different places.
Oh, well then, we understand where one is. We do not know where the other 2 are.
You have found a Proto-DGR?
We were told. He brings the paper toward him. When the 1 dagger unit had found us, it had pointed to this, which was on our frame-built friend, and had pointed off toward the mountains, as if to say that there was something there for them.
The Guardian Peaks?
Yes.
Good find, yes, that's where one of them is.
Good. Then we just need to find the other two. And I suppose some more pummel units to try to do anything with them, though I believe the family
You
may
don't
have
need
those.
to activate them. You just need to stop the family from getting them.
Oh, all right.
It is my suspicion that the ProtoDGRs would be just as happy remaining dormant.
Understood. But yes, and then they will hopefully come and secure you.
Yes, I'm sure you've been offered some kind of deal for my release, I imagine.
Yes, though it will be up to them whether that is something they wish to do. The Valtenitrum has told us that he had wanted, the information of what lies below, as well as access to the information that the Nephilim have been keeping from them.
Tell the tribunal, if you must. Well, they'll know this when they find my information, but make it clear to them that the activation of the Sword of Damocles is nigh, and that I am the only one who possesses the knowledge to help you stop it. I know that it's a lot to ask that the Rexfang Wall members be allowed into the Undercroft that I found, but these are desperate times.
I will do this. Calates, I am sorry that I could not take you with me right now, but I will get this done. We have many tools at our disposal to make haste with this, so thank you. There are a few other questions I'd like to ask you if possible.
Oh, yes. I almost forgot. My journal is written in a certain cipher. And there is only one other Nephilim that knows how to decode that cipher. You will have to tell the tribunal that they're going to need to seek out Thoraki.
Thoraki? I know that name. Wait.
Uh-huh.
Wait. My brain. Come on, brain.
Come
on, brain. Oh, yeah, I know that. Thoraki. Thoraki is, the key to this.
Yes. He and I have a habit of leaving certain notes for one another, and it is written in the code that we use to exchange them.
Well, I've heard great things. Hopefully, whenever I meet them, they will be able to do this for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, is that everything we need to know on that subject?
I believe so. You have
there is one other,
right?
Yes.
It is with... I hope that eventually I can relay the things that he is likely wondering to him directly. However, for his sake, there is one other minor piece of information you should know that he should find out ahead of time. The frame-built who were frozen at the site of the Sword of Damocles. Those who are put into hibernation lose their memories of what the frame-built once were. Those who awaken on the outside, they come back under the name Warforged, and they do not remember what they were. But those that were frozen, they are not lock-minded. They did not lose their sense of self. But if they were freed by Diane, they would be the same that defied Vestius, that worked on the sword. He is likely to encounter frame-built who fully remember their ancient mission, and if Flux intends to stop the family, those frame-built are going to stand against him. And I would like you to prepare him for that eventuality. They would be working with the family towards this goal.
Or Flux. I will let him know.
And, there's no other frame built with you, correct?
No. I do not think so. I have not seen another one since making our way to this place.
I suppose that's for the best.
I have met other Warforged, but as you have said, they wake up outside without knowledge, I'm sure. Is there anything we should let any of them know?
It is not my place to dictate what of their history they are allowed to know. I believe that there are other events in motion that may have more to say about that than I do. And besides, with things happening the way they are recently, I suspect that the operator and the navigator of the Sword of Damocles were not destroyed as was once thought. I believe that they remained outside and may have played a part in a certain civilization that popped up in the Scattershot Islands. I know that Warforged are drawn to and often work at a place called the Rising Peak. And with events going down the way they are, I do not believe that to be coincidental anymore. If there's going to be a resurgence of their history, I believe it will come from those that are there, trying to rebuild what they once lost. I do not take it upon myself to think that it is our place to teach them of what they once were.
Of course. Though, there was one other that I wish to bring up, and I believe they also have ties in Highwave to potentially this very subject. Have you ever came in contact with, I'm trying to remember a Dampire. His name is Raleigh, though I believe he would be going under a different name if you would have seen him.
I don't believe
Gives
so.
like a vague description of him.
I don't believe so.
There is a person going around. He calls himself Velis. He may have been something similar that might have set in motion some things here. They had mentioned reclamation for the frame built. But if you have no information on that, I suppose that's a dead end.
Among the Nephilim, who historically have turned against Vestius, and among the previous lore keepers who I learned all this information from their notes and such, the word reclamation is often used in the context of this as to release the history that had been buried, to relearn it. If it's being used in a similar context, then the reclamation would likely mean that someone has some plan to return the frame built to at least knowing of what they once were, and in the context of the Nephilim, to free them and the Abiding Heart from Vestius' influence. But I have never encountered anybody named Velis or Raleigh, and I have never met the person you're describing.
Understood. Freeing the Abiding Heart, would that harm you?
No.
And the others?
It would not.
I see.
The change would actually be mostly unnoticeable. The only difference is the experiences that are allowed to pass on to new Nephilim would no longer be limited. Currently, we're sharpened in a sense. We are crafted specifically so that we might be of use to Vestius. Not all of us, and we're certainly not forced to do anything against our will, but through the Valkyries, the Nephilim that work directly under Vestius to act against us, many of us are culled if we begin acting against her. To free the Abiding Heart would mean, I suppose it would mean to allow us to break free from the ancient chains of servitude. We would no longer be defined as those who aided the Sentinels of the Twilight Authority in their war against the other Eidolons. The Nephilim may be able to act freely, maybe even leave the cauldron. The point is, it would be everyone's choice. Currently, we believe we wish to stay. But those among us who do not care for Vestius might propose that our instinct to stay here and care for the cauldron is something that perhaps is overemphasized when we're born, is given to us by the Abiding Heart by force. It's impossible to tell, but if the Abiding Heart were to be freed, we would know for certain that what we wanted was what we wanted. I know it's a very lofty, difficult to describe situation, and I imagine if the Solar Tribunal heard me talking about it, I would be reprimanded. But those of us that wish to serve as Vestius' sentinels, it would be nice if we knew that we wanted to do that because we had chosen to, not because it had been endowed with us, into us when we were born.
There was a hero that I have met recently. His name was Aristes. And he had came to us in our time of need in order to save us and to prolong many lives back in a land called Summergrass. He gave his life for us. I wish to be as much help as I can to the Nephilim. I will not say anything to your tribunal on the subject. I do not wish for you to be reprimanded. I do have to ask, would you happen to know how to do that?
How to free the Abiding Heart?
Yes.
Vestius would have to willingly let go. There are two methods. The Valkyries, who were among us Nephilim, they were like demigods. They were created, a series of sisters created by Nemesis specifically to act in her image. They were those that were effectively her. Do you know what a Deva is? Like an angel,
yes.
An angel, for all intents and purposes, that acts for an Eidolon. The Valkyries were sort of that to Nemesis in a way. Again, the primal gods weren't divine in the sense that you're probably used to, but they were created as reflections to act as her agents, and they had the power to influence the Abiding Heart. When Nemesis was lost to wherever they went, they were the ones Vestius is bartered with, and for the good of their people, they turned control of it over to Vestius. So, either Vestius would have to let go, or the Valkyries would have to collectively be convinced to pull it away from them. But the Valkyries are fairly dogmatic. Once they set their mind to something, they tend to abide by it. It is unlikely they would turn against Vestius. They understand the importance of Vestius. Frankly, most of us Nephilim, from the accounts that I found, we didn't actually strongly believe that the plan to merge all of time into one moment, we didn't seem to fully believe that it was the right or wrong thing to do. The Nephilim served Nemesis and followed her simply because it seemed like what we should do. Even from the beginning, we were being pulled one way or another. Many of us, I think, crave the feeling of true freedom. But yes, you'd have to do one of those two things. Vestius would have to either let go, or the Valkyries would have to turn against her.
All right. Understood. Thank you.
Make haste. You only have so much time. If your group is the size that has been described to me before, I imagine that you will have to likely split up. You certainly aren't going to be able to get to all of the ProtoDGRs in the limited time that you have. However, I know if you manage to do this, I know of a summoning circle, of a teleportation circle that is nearby where the Sword of Damocles remains. If you manage to get me back, I could get you there fairly quickly.
Okay. Before I go, again, do you have any idea where the other two proto daggers would be?
Yes, it's all in my notes.
Okay.
It is better that you allow the tribunal to give you that information.
All right. Then I'll be off. They will come for you. And if they somehow don't, we will.
I look forward to
have my
returning.
word. He will...
Just really quick, Quintus Valorbilt, please repeat to me what I need you to do.
Of course.
You got this. I believe in you.
He just stands up, kind of with just with a bit of a twitch to his eye. He'll put his helmet on to not show any sort of anger. I am to return and speak to the tribunal, tell them to find your notes, which is clad in a blue book, tell them that it is encrypted, and ask for it to be brought to light through the Thoraki, who can undo its cipher. We are going to go and try to find the proto daggers and stop them from being activated, or at least do something to where they don't fall into the hands of Diane and the rest of them. And then we will make our way to the Sword of Damocles, and everything will be great.
Yeah, you got this.
Okay. Thank you, sir. He will give a slight bow and turn immediately.
Thank you for your efforts, Agent of Mankind. I'm very happy there are people like you out there who would stick up for us.
It was fantastic meeting you. Thank you for trusting with this information.
Of course.
Until we next, he will start making his way away.
For the sake of brevity, you are escorted outside. Stompix takes you back to where the others are. Everybody...
Just imagine him rubbing his face on his staff the entire time.
It takes about another 2 hours between being moved through the mountain and talking to him and then being returned to the others. So everybody at around 7 a.m. as the sun is beginning to properly rise, as it is over the horizon, Quintus is returned, emerging from the darkness of the mountain and being brought back to you.
He will just make his way back, give a wave to everybody. Hello! I see you're all well.
Oh, you made it back. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've had time to think on it. Yes. There's a lot.
Did you make notes?
It's all up here.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's get on to this quickly.
He looks back toward the little guy, the little dinosaur guy, and just says, "Have fun with your staff."
Oh yeah, thanks.
Just like waiting for him to leave before saying anything.
And good riddance to you.
And he walks back into the cave. I've already sat down because I assumed that there was going to be some talking.
Goodbye! This is the sound of being far away in a cave.
There is
baby cracking around here.
There's a lot to say. If at all possible, I would like to find somewhere safe to tell it. But there was much information that is very concerning. If you think this is safe enough, looks over to Miriam, then I can say things now.
We should get a little bit away from here.
Yeah. We shouldn't.
I
We also
agree.
shouldn't talk out in the open if it's sensitive.
I don't
Is
know
there-
if we have the spell slots to stop anything. I don't know if we have the magic. Excuse me.
There you go.
Is there any? You had planned on returning to the Nephilim at some point, Miriam. Correct? Do you have the ability to now?
I can teleport a lot of places. I don't think they gave me the teleportation circle for Pesodromos, did they?
did.
They did? Okay, I just make sure I'm gonna mark that down. So yeah, I could take us back there instantly.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh.
That's so
Well, then-
excellent.
Let's find somewhere to talk, and then we can make our way back with haste, because there
Give me a
are
minute.
there may be some information that I need to say that.
Oh, we can do two things at once. I can get there, and then I can make the mention.
I think that would be best.
Unless you're even more concerned. Is this like, how critical is this information? You get some mind-blowing stuff? Because I can only use this chalk. I mean, I got 2 sets of it, but I can only do it the one time, and then it's gone. So,
Yes, I just want to make sure that you all know some of the information I have. I might not be able to tell the tribunal.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, then I'm perfectly fine going now.
I will cast teleportation circle to Pesodromos.
Oh.
Alrighty.
Before we go, I'm just gonna grab a rock from the ground around here, just in case.
You're the best. I love you.
Large magical circle traces itself into the ground. A series of complex ruins form in it over the course of the next minute. There is a flash of light, and as all of you are... How many people can you teleport? It's like up to 8 total or something, isn't
I
it?
believe, yes. It's a good chunk. Teleportations. What? I believe it's anyone that can move into it within a round. It's a spell, 10-foot diameter circle. Yeah, until the end of my next turn. It's literally anyone that can just move through it.
Uh-oh.
So, absolutely.
Okay. Boom. Just 1 sec. Yep, okay, so everybody pushes through it. Everybody moves back as they move through the gateway that is created by Miriam. You find yourself emerging into an outdoor chamber. It's almost like a very small church that seems to be on the upper cliffs of Pesodromos, outside the Sun Keep. As you guys emerge, the weather is good. You once again hear the distant sounds of ocean. You hear the faint noise coming from the city itself down below. A crisp, not quite as warm wind moves across all of your skin. You guys are immediately back.
Look at the way the sun kisses the top of the church there. What a good sign for today. The gods are good.
Sure.
Yeah.
You say, with a statue of Vestius in this church looming over you.
Quintus is just looking at the Vestius statue like, with everything he just learned.
So it may not be my church. It could be still a good sign.
It's still a church.
I'm usually on your
There are
side.
good churches, Aviana.
I'm sure you think
I
there
simply have to show them to you.
are. Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
We have to go to the Temple of Tequin someday.
You say that
What
like
are
I'm
you
going
going to do?
inside. Stay outside?
Avi, the Temple of Tequin's really nice.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
We shall see how,
Okay.
how long you stand to that. Anyway, as you were saying, Quinn.
Let's go for a
Nothing.
walk. He says he wants to be as private as possible.
Yes.
Let's take
You
a quick
just
walk
you guys
and
just
find
see like
somewhere nice.
visibly sweating Quintus.
I'll
Oh.
wander
Little
about
sweatier
until
than
I
usual.
find a secluded area to cast Magnificent Mansion.
Be sure to hydrate more, Quintus.
I'm gonna try to reassuringly take his hand.
Oh, he will take it.
Oh shit!
It's like,
That hand got took.
It's gone!
It's ripped off my body.
yeah! We'll make way into mansion whenever it is cast.
Yeah, we'll find an alley or somewhere and door appears, and we're in. Hi, welcome to my house. You've been here before. It's great. It's a house.
It's still good.
That's wonderful. Closes door behind everyone.
Oh, goodness.
I'll wave my hand and the door will disappear.
Guys! Things!
Ah!
Quick, before he forgets, go.
More words.
All right. Well, first off, a lot was said. But second off, he's fine. Well, fine as you can be, being captured. He didn't look dead, so that's great. And they're not okay. So they mentioned 12 gods. They mentioned a bunch of things. One of them was over time. Nemesis. They were the one that made the Nephilim, but the Nephilim are now under Vestige, and it's big bad. But we'll talk about that later. So Diane, it is not in any way good, because we think they're after the sword. They kind of are, but they're mostly after these other things, which is that points to Flux. And points to the PML.
What?
Frame built or
both.
Yes.
Because
okay, you say thing. We need specifics, Quintus.
That's why I pointed at the PML
more than ever.
That's why
Avi's gonna step up. Are you wearing your helmet, sir?
Yes.
All right. Avi's gonna step up, take off his helmet, and slap him across the face.
Oh.
You need to come. Can you take a fucking breath for me?
One more.
All right, and she's gonna reel back and slap him again.
Quinn, what are you into? Oh my god.
All right, I'm back. Okay.
Okay, can you take a fucking breath?
Geraldo, an ice pack, please.
Oh, they talk now.
Oh, they always could. They just didn't.
Oh. Well, all right. So there are these things out there that are called ProtoDGRs.
No ice packs.
There are 3 of them, and they completely dwarf the ones we've seen so far.
Oh, good.
Oh.
They are
like even the big one that we saw.
Yes.
Fluff.
They are apparently much larger. All of them have some sort of sentience to them. However, once they give themselves over to a rider or one that is to control them, they give themselves over completely. When it comes to these, when it comes to these ProtoDGRs, they are controlled by the PMLs that you have there. What Diane wants to do is they want us to be distracted by going after them and the sword so they can get these ProtoDGRs. There are 3 of them in total, and we know where one is.
We do?
Yes. The one that was pointed off towards you in those mountains. He had confirmed that is where one of them is.
Oh.
However,
that's what he was trying to tell us.
However, there are 3 of them, and they are most likely going to be attempted to be retrieved all at once. We were advised to split up and go toward the 3 locations once we find the 3 of them. The other 2 locations are inside of these notes that he had left behind inside of a blue-bound book that only a Nephilim named Toriki can decipher.
Sounds like Thoriki.
Thoriki, that's my fuck.
Yeah. Oh.
I thought there was just 2.
It would be good to. That's very convenient and good to know.
It should have all the information they need, as well as most likely more. And while we are going and doing what we are doing, they should return to collect him, because it is of the utmost importance that they give whatever they need to those who reside in the mountains. That being said, Flux.
Yes, sir?
When it comes to the frame built, they were created in order to perform a task. Those who have gone into sleep, when they awake outside of the cauldron, they think themselves to be warforged, and they have no knowledge or memory of what they were doing before.
Yes.
There are many things, apparently around Highwave, Scattershot Island, the Rising Peak. Those were all places that were told of me. That potentially the operator of the operator of the Sword of Damocles may still reside in some way. But the frame built that we find here, the ones that apparently have been frozen by an Aylox, they will not have their memory gone. They will still have a directive that they wish to accomplish, and that will put them in opposition of you. They wish to help, most likely Diane and the others, because that is their directive. In order to awaken the Sword of Damocles and have it potentially destroy Vestius.
I see. That saddens me to hear, but I suppose that shouldn't be overly surprising. If they remember their old selves, then it would only make sense that they would continue with their mission.
There may be some about who have gone through a hibernation like yours, is what he called it. Any of them that go through this hibernation will forget. They will lose their memory, but those who were frozen will not. They will defy Vestius and stand with Diane, most likely. As will the Sword of Damocles. It will have one prime directive that it will go and do. It has its own sentience about it. Unless it is taken over, it will do what it was meant to do. Apparently, an Aylox's heart can be used to awaken or control any of the DGR units or the Sword of Damocles, and Diane most likely has an Aylox's heart, the one that had frozen the place that it now rests.
So that's why she seemed confident that there were other means of activating it without the operator.
Though I assume they would like to get the other means. I assume they would like to be able to control it themselves, but I do not know what they are thinking. They did not say great things about me to him.
What'd they say?
Apparently, I had to be reminded like a child several times. It was hard. Anyway,
That's kind of mean.
It was uncomfortable, but I think he understands that I know, and hopefully we'll have a better conversation next time.
That's good.
That being said, I will not hold it against him. The Nephilim, they had told me more about the reclamation that they had spoken of. That is mostly the idea that they could relearn the things that the Abiding Heart is keeping from them, because Vestius is keeping certain information from them. I want to help, because from what we understand, it is not going to force anything. It is going to allow the Nephilim to choose whether they stay here and stay under Vestius or are able to leave and pursue their own duties. They wish to know if they stay here out of choice or out of duty. That is something that was mentioned to me by him, and it is something that apparently if he were to say aloud to the tribunal or to the Valkyries, it may cause him to be punished. There are only two ways to free them from the Abiding Heart, or to free the Abiding Heart itself. The Valkyries need to all be convinced to reclaim it from Vestius, or Vestius has to willingly let it go. I don't know if... Oh, no problem. Thank you for holding. Can you get the other side now?
No.
Thank you. I don't know if the Sword of Damocles destroys Vestius. I don't know if that is going to count or not. Probably. But that is how the Nephilim can obtain freedom. And at least have the ability to choose whether they wish to stay or not. They had apparently served a different deity before, a Nimacine, but they were defeated by Vestius, because Vestius was told by a traitor, but he did not mention whom at the time. It was not something that was immediately something we were talking on, so maybe he can go into further detail later.
Okay. Who are these Valkyries you mentioned?
They are the ones who are here. We have met
Yes.
with. Yeah.
No, we've not met them.
No,
Okay.
but we've been
I
told
thought that
about
was-
them.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Mercury told us about the Valkyries.
Right,
I'm wearing
right.
Valkyrie armor.
There is
He was like,
the
"Hey,
Va-
Boo Boo, I recognize that."
the
And you were like,
Valkyries
"What?"
are similar to the Devas that we had already had some that you had already had some time with. They are the Devas for the one before Nimacine. They're the ones that when Nimacine was defeated, they were the ones that handed the Nephilim over, the heart to Vestius in order to save their lives. If we can convince all of the Valkyries to get it back, they can, apparently, do it.
Are you sure that's possible?
We would have to convince every one of them, apparently. That is the only other option. Either Vestius has to relinquish it willingly, they die, maybe, or the Valkyries have to all be in agreement. If we can somehow find a way to talk to them, we could plead a case for the Chainbreakers and the rest of the
pass
Nephilim.
along the information.
As long as we do not tell the tribunal on it, then I'm sure that we don't have to worry about any sort of repercussion happening. But I don't know how to even approach the subject without it. I assumed that if I were to say it and keep it in mind, that you all may have better ideas later. I am not an idea person.
Since you're the one who got this meeting in the first place.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
I'd give yourself more credit.
Yes, don't take Diane's opinion of you so harshly, Quintus. Please.
Oh, it's no problem. There is one final thing. There was a lot, but this is the only thing that I believe that needs to be known now. Once we complete this, once we are able to stop them from awakening, or to at least stop as many as we can from awakening the Proto-DGRs, then once we return here, Kalites should be able to take us directly to the Sword of Damocles because of a summoning circle.
That is fantastic.
That'll cut out a lot of time. That's good.
We will have to go to each of these 3 areas, collect these 3 Proto-DGRs from the notes that we gain from Kalites' Blue Book. And once we obtain the information on where to go, on where these Proto-DGRs are, we must go there separately. We must attack all at once. Or at least in as quick a succession as we can. If I'm missing anything, it's because my brain is goo. It's melted
You
goo.
did real good, boy. Goddamn.
Unrelated. You said the Nimacine made the Nephilim?
Yeah,
Yes.
Cool. Cool.
There were apparently many gods that were at least over other deities out there. Nimacine, Satesk, or Mnemosyne was a god of, I think, time? It was another one.
Primeval Order of Time and Memory.
Thank you. Mnemosyne is the Primeval Order of Time and Memory. Satesk, I think, is one who is over gravity and something else. And there was also Ophiuchus, which is a deity of light. And something else, but I can't. With my brain. Space and light. Thank you.
I got you, bitch.
I don't. I'm sorry. I've remembered a lot.
You're okay. You
I wrote
did
down
so
as much as I could too.
I took so many notes.
I just thought that was interesting as all.
Mm-hmm.
That's everything.
Okay.
I think.
Did
No,
Had
they
they
did
ever
not
heard of-
know anything about Velis or Raleigh.
Gotcha.
I have mentioned the reclamation that was mentioned by them. They told me of the definition of what that would mean as far as the Nephilim and the Nephilim and Frame Built would be concerned, but they did not seem to know anything of that or have seen anyone with the description of Raleigh.
Perhaps we
Thank
can
you
hope
for
that
asking.
was just a coincidence.
We got
Something
some
tells
information
me
out of it
that-
at least.
Something tells me it is more than a coincidence. Alice may simply have stayed off of Kalatis' radar.
I had mentioned to Kalatis that I have an interest in wanting to help the Nephilim. I feel that I owe Aristides at least that much for what he did for us. So that is where I stand. I do not know where any of you do, but that is my thought. If we can speak with the Valkyries, I want to.
Without question, I'm going to be a part of that. The people I love wouldn't be here if he hadn't helped us. So
We owe the Nephilim a great debt.
Indeed. There's a chance at getting them their freedom without allowing Diane her way. I am all for it.
I would caution
agree
that we
that-
can't simply... Sorry, go ahead.
I agree that what the Chainbreakers had said before is not possible. We will not allow Diane to do what they want to do. But if we can speak with the Valkyries, or even later if we can speak with Vestius, I know that that's far-fetched, but a lot of strange things have happened with us,
Oh,
right?
no, I'm almost certain she can see in here, so don't be a dick about it. I say, looking at the ceiling.
Oh no.
One of the servants unenthusiastically just shakes its hand in the air.
Excellent work.
Yeah.
I don't believe there should be any reason to not have some kind of a meeting, if possible, later on. That being said, that's all I have said.
It's true.
okay.
Now, it is the morning. However, we just walked for 8 hours and then fought through an entire evening. I am going to nap, and no one can stop me.
Oh, also want to nap.
I believe we may want to let them know to at least search for the book while we are napping. I can go and do that. I can go and do that.
I can go with Quintus to go do that.
Oh, all right.
You can come to. It's not a.
Sure. No, absolutely. Yes.
I also want to bring up to them the gravity of going and retrieving the prisoner. That way, we can make sure that Callistes is.
The sooner we have people on the way to take Kalatis back, the better. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
He had mentioned as well that we are in a time that they need to give them what they request. If we do not, then this place and those outside of it may be doomed.
As much as like the guy's kind of a D-bag, like I'm kind of siding with the Dino boys on this one anyways. I'm not much for vaulting information away.
I agree. They
I agree.
have their own understandings, and despite our conversations, he did not say anything wrong. He is a great leader, Valtonitrum.
I have no strong opinion other than he's kind of scary. It can definitely punch me through a wall.
Most people can punch you through a wall, Miriam.
Most people can punch me through a wall.
Depends on the wall.
There's a bar to set on that one. Anyway, you go
Noted.
guys. You do that. We'll be here when you get back.
Okay.
Right, go fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
rest,
that's what
all of you.
I'm gonna do.
All right.
Find something to eat, please.
As you
remember
guys
to eat.
decide to head off to go and deal with these things, I think that's a good time to call for a break.
Woo!
Hey.
Everyone, get some water. I know some of us are overheating, so stay hydrated.
I'm gonna like step outside for like a minute. I'll be right back.
You take the time you need, my guy.
Totally fair. Get air and water.
All right,
I'm also
everybody.
gonna step
water and such, and everybody at home enjoy Smart Sunder.
Yeah.
Thunder, if you will.
Munder.
Sundart. IQ'der. That's not the one. I'm gonna get water.
We'll find it.
I will be right back, Hubba.
You better.
I have new undies from MeUndies. Yeah. Go me. Well, chat, you're gonna hear what they are, because I think it's like a cool pattern, because they're always a cool pattern. They are. It's a little galaxy. There's like a galaxy on my underwear. It's like a little tie-dye galaxy. It's super neat and cute, and I love it. I'm gonna put it on my butt. You know what? I'll put it on my butt right now. It's gonna be great. The entire galaxy. Everything. Instead of riding on my shoulders, it rides on my butt. Ah.
What?
I have a galaxy on my butt.
Oh.
I just got new MeUndies.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and they're like a little like light blue, dark blue, light purple galaxy pattern.
That's cute as hell.
It's adorable, and I love it. And just like any MeUndies, they are very comfortable. Sponsor us.
I mean, like, please, dude. I've heard nothing but good things about MeUndies. Like, oh my god.
I do not need as much underwear as I have. I will never cancel my MeUndies.
That's amazing.
I do not need them. Ever since I became Quinn, however, I have been getting them.
Oh, that's kind of beautiful.
Ever since I'm like, man, I really could use some nice designs on my underwear to be more Quinn. And now I do. I have way too many.
Oh, hooray!
I have so many pride
if you ever
underwears.
have to travel, you can just take them all.
Yeah, dude.
Heck yeah.
One briefcase just for me undies.
Just for me undies.
Just for me undies.
Oh,
go away, Casper. It's not Thursday. Get the fuck out of here, you
Eldrick says,
stinky.
and there's a black hole in the back. There isn't. It's just a galaxy.
Oh. I was about to say that's a little too on the nose for me undies. I don't think they do.
It'd be kind of funny. It'd be kind of funny if during the whole like picture of the black hole thing that happened a couple of years ago that they made like a special me undies for it. That'd be funny.
Sorry, chat's asking how Fenris is doing after that lore drop. I'm very concerned. Fenris hasn't told any of the concerning information, so.
I loved Quinn. In his mind, it's like he's like, I'm not upset at Callistes. I'm really upset with Diane. How dare you?
You did so much better than I would have. Oh my fucking god.
He tried
cross-eyed for most of it. Like, what?
Do not take
what?
everything personally.
He tried his best to just say Sir Quinn, and he was like, Quintus Valibus? Like, yeah. He tried his best to be like, nope, it's me, Sir Quinn. I'm just Quinn.
Oh.
I'm not a Valor belt. Don't look at
Shut
me.
up. A sweet boy.
My brain hurts from that lore drop.
I think I got
going on.
Maybe a quarter of it. I did my best to write notes, but fuck.
It was overloading Quinn. Quinn's like, I need to let the smarter people know. And then as soon as like Avi did the slap, I'm like, one more.
Oh.
One more, please.
You're a pervert.
I spaced out for a moment. What were you guys being perverted about? What do I have to beat you all up?
I don't know what they're thinking about it.
Yeah, Quinn wanting to be slapped by Avi, fucking asking for another one. Yeah.
I mean,
you can get it anyplace else, so get it where you can get it.
Anybody blame me for wanting to be slapped by Avi? Like,
excuse you?
I pray for you, Lexi. I always have and I will forevermore. Now that you've chosen this one to be your betrothed, I pray for you every day.
Oh no, dude, she likes him, but she's secure enough to be like, oh, you fucked up under a butthole? Bye.
No,
once.
no!
Once!
Oh, damn.
I'm not gonna! I'd be good!
We've seen a lot of ships come together on Nat19, but I don't think we've ever had a breakup.
A breakup?
We'll see, we'll see.
Ooh, Cody, you better fuck up. I also better not fuck up. Like,
I was gonna say, how do you know Lexi won't fuck up?
It's too hot.
It is.
I just stepped outside for a moment. It is so hot.
Jesus.
Yes.
It's still May, y'all. Like, we're gonna die in
God
like fucking
damn.
June, July. It's gonna be a bad fucking time.
Oh, I don't want to think about it.
Fucking Claire Quinn getting kicked out of the highest standard. Right? You hurt Lexi. Get the
That'd be
fuck
funny
out
as
of
hell.
here.
I'd be so down.
Lexi ripping the standard from you. I'm taking this.
Yeah, by the by, chat, just because I've seen it a bunch, this is a Greek word, so I do not necessarily heckin' blame you for not getting it, but I'm gonna write a thing for the chat real quick.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Logan.
What?
I'm really nervous. Fenris is fine. I'm really nervous.
So,
That's all.
Nemesine is spelt like this. There's a big old silent M on
I
the
did
front
not
of it.
write it that way.
No.
Oh, yeah, nope.
Here.
I feel like I've
Here you
given
go,
up
Chad.
on spelling things correctly. I think I just spell them the way that I would say them. Is where I'm at.
Oh, that's not what I meant to post. Yeah?
is it Cetesk? Is that the name of the second one?
Yes.
And they had gravity and something else. I could not write.
Isolation.
Isolation. Okay, thank you. I was gonna keep that in my notes because I tried.
And that
Sorry, it took me a sec.
And that is spelled. I'll say this one out loud as well for people that are at home. Where are you? I'm sourcing things because I'm like, I need to make sure I get this right. Cetesk. I'm sure it's probably spelled like actually pronounced differently, but Cetusque.
Ooh. That is a very fancy spelling. I thought it was more.
Oh hell yeah! I spelled Nemesine right. Let's fucking go.
No fucking way! Oh my god!
It's Greek.
I thought you
isn't
got
it?
it from Logan.
Yeah, Nemesine is Greek.
Yeah, I was already familiar, like from like Greek stuff. So I was like, I'm pretty sure it's that.
All right, now how do we spell Ophiuchus?
That was the easiest one.
Look at our fucking title.
I know,
I know. I'm like, if you
copy and paste, they are your best friends. I would know.
And they were gravity and isolation, you said? Just to make sure I got
Yes.
that. Okay, cool.
Time and memory is
I was hoping you
Nemesine,
caught that,
gravity and
Logan.
isolation is Cetesk, and light and space is Ophiuchus. Let's go.
Nice.
And one of them apparently was a traitor? Or something? Or
No.
there was a different traitor? Or something happened?
Not one of them.
I'll talk to him again. I'll talk to him again at one point. And
It's like,
we'll
hey,
find
can you
out
run
who
that
did it.
back? As
I
you
mean,
know from Diane, I'm stupid. Can you run this back?
Well, no,
Didn't he say
it's,
that
God
one
damn.
of the, did
There
he say
was-
one of the Eidolons was a traitor?
Yes.
something like that. The big
Yeah.
thing is Quinn didn't go too deep into it because he was saying that's not important for right now. So he's like, all right, I'll ask you. We'll talk about it later.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Girl, I'm
Not
pretty
important
sure.
for you right now.
Don't we already know which
motherfucker.
one was the traitor as well?
No.
Wasn't it the Pit Fiend?
Or Pit Fiend?
The one that was in Miriam?
That wasn't an Eidolon.
Oh, fuck.
That was an Eidolon. they were an Eidolos.
Oh, oh, shit.
I get you.
I
Oh my
know,
God,
same.
I'm doing my best.
I
They
felt so
were,
proud. I'm like, oh, I got it.
They were a former. They were an implied former Duke of Hell who was abandoned by their people when they got lost in the material plane and later became an Eidolos for Vestius.
Okay.
Hey,
That said,
Logan?
yes, technically, if you paid attention to the lore, you do technically know who the traitor is supposed to be. Because
fuck, I don't know.
No, it's okay. This is one that just it comes up in the background every so often. Just based on what people would know from the history of the world, supposedly Hund turned against the other Eidolons of the Twilight Authority.
Hund?
Hund.
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 A Hunder must Hund.
Release the Hund.
Yeah.
Can you spell Hund? I'm just gonna put WHOND until it's
It's HUUNDE.
Okay.
I was only missing the E.
Amazing.
I like spelling
yeah.
things.
It's actually in a forest that is named for them, where Vogan collapsed and Elmira found him. It was near their temple in the Strike Lands where Vogan and them first met.
Yeah.
Hey, Logan.
Yes.
Can I ask a complete... This is totally... Okay. So,
No, no.
remember back in Fate when you took away all of Spencer's stuff and that was really funny because you killed his god?
That's not quite what happened, but yes.
Right. But, like... Does that... What ever happened with, like...
Oh, I think I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, robot. Yeah, damn.
I'm taking away their ability to speak. Go ahead and try that again, Braid.
Well, I don't know if I can add...
It would probably work that way for clerics
Ain't
too.
your god to Quinn? Your god's to Quinn. Ain't your god to
Yeah,
Quinn?
sure.
What do you gotta be worried about?
Well, I don't know.
Don't you serve to Quinn? Are you faithful to Quinn? I don't know why you'd be worrying about whatever it is you're coming at with.
This is all conjecture. This is all, I'm just spitting.
Man.
I'm just shooting. shots with you. We're just you and me.
We're taking
just
shots
chatting like chums.
Oh my god.
We're just talking.
Mm-hmm. Full Lil Jon.
Brayden, did you see my message?
Yes. I had maybe pieced that together as well.
But
I have that message saved.
Yeah, because I don't remember what I said, but I'm sure it was unhinged.
I remember playing it and immediately clicking the save button.
Yeah, it was like, I'm not gonna tell you what it was about, but it was there are some nights, I think I've talked about them, where when I was having real bad insomnia, I would like start falling asleep, have a lore thought, just need to wake up, and I would send Brayden like a unhinged like 3 a.m. like, okay,
amazing.
So I just had this fucking thought. So about this thing and this thing, I'm pretty sure these two things are connected. And Brayden is the only person I've ever sent unhinged 3 a.m. voice messages to because I know they'll listen.
You don't want to talk about the lore with me?
I mean, I can't.
Was that shit? We'd be so
What
happy.
answers are they gonna get from you?
I don't know.
The reason why is because your voice message back would be like, who can say?
Who's to say?
And I think
that
would cause Hayden to like throw their entire bed and flip it.
With
I am
with Alejandro
times
in
to
it.
say.
Oh, it's true. I'm to say.
You choose
Logan, I need
not
to know I'm
say.
fed. I'm so fed today.
I figured you'd like today.
Yeah.
Today's
I was
very good.
I'm like,
Me and Hayden have been shooting back and forth text messages all of game.
Normally I like to write everything in notes, but I was like, I can't write by hand that fast. So I was like, okay, I need to do what I don't like doing and write it like digitally. And I was typing like a mad person.
One of us needs to.
You're right, Black Ace. We should put "Who's to Say" on a shirt.
One of us needs to take over for Logan, then have Logan make a character named to say.
Wow.
I'm to say.
I'm to say.
They're oh God, what would be the best class for them?
Oh great, and every time that someone hears their name, they're like, who's to say? And so they get to be like, I am to say. Sorry.
That's their life.
They need
They're
to
like,
be an
I'm to
assassin.
say.
They need to
God!
be a rogue assassin so they can just emerge from the shadows every time. Just be super edgy and just be like, I'm to say.
Maybe an assassin so that you
turn
sneak
around
up on
so
them.
I can disappear.
Perfect.
Fucking Batman.
I'm not gonna do that, madman. I'm not gonna turn away so you can just disappear. Oh. I don't need you to do that. Gordon, look out the window! It's the Joker attacking us! It's not Batman.
Full.
I want to watch you walk out that door like a normal man, Batman. Things you don't see often. Batman turning doorknobs.
It's true. I don't think I've ever seen that. I maybe have seen Bruce Wayne do that, but
well, what does that have to do with
I've seen Batman bash in a door.
Yeah.
I've seen Batman bash in a door.
Man.
Is that the same?
Sorry, I was confusing them for a second. I don't know why.
One sec.
You know, now that you mention it, they have a similar build.
I think you're just reading into things, Cody. I think you're looking for things that aren't there.
Oh, I'm not saying that billionaire playboy Bruce
Billionaire
Wayne
reclusive
has anything to do
playboy
with
Bruce
that.
Wayne? Nah, he couldn't be Batman.
Yeah, he's a reclusive billionaire. Why
Yeah.
would he go out in the night and beat up bad guys? You're stupid, Cody.
Besides,
Too busy
all he ever
managing
does,
all his company's military contracts.
Yeah.
all he ever does is go and freaking hang out with women. Like that's all we ever see him do. That's weird.
Yeah.
He has different ones every time, and they don't really kiss or anything. But you know, whatever.
All right, my guys.
What are you trying to imply?
No, I'm just saying it's weird.
Yeah, I think you're trying to defame a billionaire playboy philanthropist.
I'm gonna sue you
Bruce
for defamation,
Wayne.
Cody.
Yeah. All right.
I'm saying he's Batman. He's Batman.
That's what I'm saying.
You son of a bitch.
All right, guys. You guys ready to jump back in?
Yeah.
Fine,
Yeah.
ready.
I'm to jump in.
I can't.
Well,
I'm gonna hit the button. There's the button. There it is. Okay, we're back in. So, people. So, my guys. It is currently 7 a.m. We're gonna say 7:30, just to be cheeky. 7:30.
It is 7:30.
You cheeky.
What would the party like to do?
Cheeky bastard.
I think half of us are going to, you know, to inform the tribunal.
Which half?
Yeah.
Aren't
It
we
was
sleeping first?
myself, Quintus, and Fen were going.
Yeah, Fenny Fufu is accompanying them.
The rest of us are resting.
Okay. The rest of you are like beginning a long rest.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Fucked up. Oh my god.
Okay, guys. In that case, so you are outside of. You are on the second layer of the heckin' like the cliffs on which the Sun Keep and the Valkyrie Gate are. And just a reminder, since the word came up recently, the Valkyrie Gate is like the arena-like training grounds where the Fault Hawks and Fault Knights and Prisma Guards are all trained.
Fault Hawks, Fault Knights, you got it. Those aren't okay.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Yeah.
The normal guards in Pesodromos are referred to as Prisma Guards, and then the elites are the Fault Hawks and Fault Knights. The Fault Hawks use bows and such, and the Fault Knights are the big halberd boys.
Yeah.
But
Fault
that
Masters.
said, where would you guys like to go, you three? Where would you like to go to search? The Sun Keep is there, which is where most of the business happens. However, the Solar Tribunal are usually kind of all over the place. What would you like to do?
You were Aaron said he was on mute. Did Miriam want to come?
No, I have magical Miriam plans that I'll talk to you about later, God.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh.
I'm sick of Miriam.
Yep, me too.
By the by, you would probably so when you popped up, you would have appeared in
the chat.
You would have appeared in the Temple of the Eight Remain, which is where heckin' Colites typically would have worked. Funny enough, so it was empty for the most part. Yeah. So you guys, you three, where are you going? What are you doing? Where are you searching? Where are you going? Where are you searching? Where are you going?
Are we up in the sky at the moment?
Do you mean like on the roof of a building?
No, I'm in like there's like the upper area to this place, right?
Yes, you're on the cliffside area.
Okay.
The upper section where the Sun Keep, and the. Sorry, yeah, no, you're not in the Temple of the Eight Remain. You're just in like a little chapel. You're in a little church that's outside the Sun Keep, kind of connected to the same grounds as it. The only other two structures there are the Sun Keep and the Valkyrie Gate. Everything else is in the lower city area.
And the Sun Keep.
Sun Keep's like the Acropolis.
The Sun Keep is like where you guys went up to the roof to talk to the tribunal. It's an old castle that is like worn down, but the important parts are kept in good shape, and the Starlight Garden is on top of it, which is where you were brought before and where you fought Fierna and such.
I suppose we should make our way to the Sun Keep then.
Okay.
We could start there.
Okie dokie. Alrighty. Boopadoo. The Sun Keep is also where the Well of Records is. Alright. So, the main areas within it are the Well of Records, the Great Hall, and the Starlight Garden. The rest of it is just kind of like rooms and passages and such and such. As you head towards the Sun Keep, you would pass several Nephilim on your way in that are dressed in somewhat more scholarly clothing. They look more unassuming. You would pass by several Prisma Guards who would acknowledge that you are there, that stand a bit more rigid at attention as you pass by. Is there anyone that you're searching for specifically? Is there anyone that you want to talk to?
I mean, I'm always looking for Mercury a little bit, just because I know him and we've talked.
You would know that
and we seem to
Mercury
have
hangs
rapport.
out in the, he hangs out in the Konya, which is in the lower city. That is the,
Right.
the, like, museum.
Place we were at before.
Yeah.
Maybe we could look for Theodosia, possibly.
Theodosia also is in the lower city usually.
Well.
We could ask somebody around and see if there's
anyone from the tribunal around.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna change I like the sound of waves when you guys near the ocean, so I'm just gonna turn us to a beach ambience.
Excuse us. Going up to like a Prisma Guard.
Yes, so, visitors, you have returned. What is it?
We have returned, and we have news for the tribunal about the whereabouts of Colites. We need to speak with them very quickly. Anyone will do.
Indeed. If it is a matter of... We could find Atlius. He should be around here somewhere. Make your way to the Grand Hall. We'll bring him there.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Should this require any of the other members of the tribunal, or will that be enough?
I think since Atlius sits at the head and he's the speaker, is that it? I don't know.
Yes.
He's
our solar advocate.
A solar advocate, thank you. He should be enough at this point. We don't need to assemble everybody.
We will let him decide at that point.
Yes.
That particular guard summons their wings. They fly up and over the keep as you guys are ushered by the other one to the Grand Hall, which is the long throne room-like assembly hall that is in relative disrepair as if they never sought to replace it. Really, it's the same room that has the large skylight that leads up to the Starlight Garden, the same place you take off from to get up onto the roof if you have Nephilim with you. You guys would have to remain there for a little bit as he is gathered. A short amount of time passes. We're gonna just push you ahead to 8 for the purposes of searching and whatnot. It is now 8 p.m. a.m., not p.m. You didn't lose 13 hours.
It's 8 now. It's been around 30 minutes since he went. Oh, I hope this talk with Atlas goes fine.
You hear a swoop. You see Atlas.
I've never noticed before, but they do that every minute. I'm playing.
You're right.
Every bit of every day.
Just mutters to themselves.
27.
It's a little... We don't have to talk about the trauma that Honokuni had to my character. Anyway.
Our purple-haired boy swoops down from the skylight. You hear him before he enters. You hear just a as he, with his wings extended, falls, lands in the middle of the Grand Hall. His wings dissipate. He stands up, brushes off his cloak, looks towards you all.
I see that you've returned without Colitis.
Yes, there was a lot of problems, but if we were to have attempted to retrieve him as we had gone through, then we would have unfortunately lost him. They had a lot of advantages in their place. That being said, we have gotten the information we needed, and we have more information for you.
And he's alive, for the record.
That's good.
Well.
And he is
well enough.
Well as he
enough.
can be.
Well as he can
Yes,
be.
Not emaciated or anything.
Anyways.
Not emaciated.
Anyways,
his condition is rapidly deteriorating.
To the point, sir.
So sorry.
I'll look at Quintus.
Well, I was told that there are notes that he had left behind that we need to make our way through. We now have direction on what we need to do, and we need to do it quickly. And while we are doing it, we still need him to be retrieved. And the only way to do so is for, unfortunately, you to make your way, someone to make their way there and give them what they want.
And what is it that they want?
Information. They want access to the information that has been that is in the archives.
They wish to have access to the Well of Records.
Colitis had mentioned that this is something that, because of the situation, is something that needs to happen.
What would they want with the Well of Records?
I believe
Most
they
of
want to
them
be
don't
on
even know
equal
how to
footing.
read our writing.
Some of them do, from our experience. And I believe they want to be on equal footing.
The Well of Records contains all of the history that we recorded over the last... I couldn't even begin to say. Putting it in danger by exposing all of our history to them. That does not appeal to me.
Without Colitis, it was mentioned that, unfortunately, the Sword of Damocles will most likely be activated. We need to make our way toward 3 beings known as ProtoDGRs. They have been spread among the place here, and we need to go quickly, which means that we will be stretched as thin as we possibly can in order to do so. When we return, Kalates will take us to a summoning circle that he knows about that will take us directly to the Sword of Damocles. If he is not released before then, Diane will take everything they need and will most likely use the Sword of Damocles against Vestius.
Are you sure that he was well?
Yes. I know this seems like a lot that we are asking of you. We're asking you to open records that have been kept to yourselves, and I can understand that to an extent. But without Kalates, this all goes to hell.
And you know where the Proto-DGRs are?
We have, Oh, go ahead, Aviana.
We know where one of them is. And from what Quintus told us, from his talk with Kalates, he had a book in his quarters. What did it look like, Quintus?
It apparently had a blue
cover.
Sorry, my brain. A blue cover
all
about
good.
it. Not only will you need it, but you will need Thoroki. Apparently, it is written in a cipher that only Thoroki and Kalates have any understanding of. It will tell us of the other two places.
Information on things like... We've heard of the Proto-DGRs. They're spoken of as if they're guardians of the cauldron, but their location has never been known to us. In the near 1,000 years that I have acted as the Solar Advocate, no lorekeeper has ever spoken of knowing where they are. Nor have we ever known where the Sword of Damocles actually resides, nor anything about a teleportation circle that goes directly there.
This is something that he apparently have kept very close to his chest, and his predecessors themselves must have as well.
Most likely to protect those things and stop them from being used.
I know that this is a lot. This is why we wanted to make our way here with as much haste as we could. Because if we do not act now, if we do not act quickly,
if I may pose
there's going to be
question.
nothing to find.
Yes.
If there is a journal that contains the information that he left, if it is specific enough to tell us what we need to know, why did Kalates... Perhaps this question is better left for later. It seems suspicious that he would have had time to prepare such a thing written in a cipher before being taken.
Perhaps he had been keeping note of it in the off chance that something did happen.
If it was written in such a way that Thoroki would be able to read it, why didn't he inform Thoroki that it existed?
I cannot tell you. I do not know. If we find this, then perhaps it will give us more answers.
He turns and he yells down towards the entrance. Is anyone standing at attendance? To which you see two Prisma guards stand out from the large archway that leads in. One of you, go fetch Thoroki. The other, search Kalates' quarters for such a book. Bring them together. Discern what you can from it and get back to me immediately. They both strike their fists on their chest, and they take off. We do not know where the Proto-DGRs are, so we'd have to find it within this book. If this information exists, I don't know where Kalates is getting it. I've spent a lot of time in the Well of Records. I've overseen most of what's been put into it. This is worrying.
Perhaps, if I might pose a theory. Since he is the lore keeper, and there have been others like him, perhaps that information was given to him by the Abiding Heart. It's the only thing I could think of. And perhaps it is born into him to keep certain things from you.
I know, Cody. It's hot.
Yeah.
I feel like Quintus would definitely remember the premise of the conversation you had, so I am just going to remind you.
I'm sorry.
Colletes mentioned he found an ancient hidden storehouse of information below the Well of Records that had been kept sealed off, and that his notes are his findings from there.
If you don't, I'm so sorry, Logan.
It's okay. I know that it's hot. I know it's hot.
It happens to all of us.
There is
normally I just
something
watch
else
you
that
guys
was
flop like fishes, but today I know it's hot.
There is something else that was mentioned. Beneath the Well of Records, apparently, Calestes had
the K-Man
found the K-Man, Big K.
Let's not call him that.
Yeah.
No, we're calling him that.
Only his friends call him
Okay.
Apparently, there was some kind of chamber that they had found beneath the Well of Records, and all of this information that he had told me was his findings through that. I don't know any way to verify that at all, but that is what he had told me. This information that he has apparently is what had caused him to be targeted, so I do not know exactly how everything would go with it, but he saw it fit, I guess, to keep it to himself until now.
Given the urgency of the current situation, I suppose we'll have to bridge that gap later. If there is an ancient storehouse of information being kept from the other members of Pesodromos, that doesn't bode well. One would think that if that secret was of importance to us, as the Solar Advocate, I should have been made aware of it at some point over the last 1,000 years.
Perhaps the Valkyrie may know?
If they knew, I imagine they would have told me. I speak for Vestius here. Anything that is of importance, especially the location of such ancient and dangerous technology, one should think that I should know. We can investigate that later. Currently, getting to the bottom of what you feel is urgent is more important.
We have good news.
Yeah.
On our way there, we have obtained several boons that may prove useful in allowing for us to aid with these Proto-DGRs. At least one that would hopefully keep them out of the family's hands. As far as things are concerned, we have been told that we need to make our way to them rather quickly, rather swiftly, and in such, we will make ourselves into 3 teams and make our way out as soon as we find out the other 2 locations. Once we have completed them and returned here, I do think that because of some guidance we were given from above, that we will have enough time to stop Diane.
And the Kaijo, their demands are, they will return Colletes if we give them access to the Well of Records, and presumably this storehouse as well.
I do not know if they know of it, though if they have
directly said
information. Oh, okay, yeah. Then yes, that is what they have said. They had a rather ingenious setup about them. If we would have tried to take Colletes by force, they would have killed him. They said that they would rather have the information die than to have any sort of loss of this bargaining chip they had. They are fearsome, and they have the tactics that would abide a leader.
Whether we agree to this or not, will depend entirely on how critical it is that we get Colletes back. I will see myself to joining the others in finding this journal and deciphering it. You return to yours. Assuming this ends up being the plan we go with, you should decide exactly how you're going to split yourselves.
Yes.
Already trying to put some thought into it.
One other thing.
Yes.
If we do split ourselves, that means we will not have the ability to return as swiftly as we would before. Miriam is the only one that has that ability to return us. If there's anything that you can all think of that may allow us to return to the summoning circle after we have completed our task, the other two groups,
Powerful
then that would
arcanists are not something that we have a lot of here. And I certainly can't take a lot of time to go with you, but for the purposes of where you're going, we may be able to assign a Nephilim to keep in the general area with you, so that if you need to, they may be able to open a gate for you to get back.
Thank you. That is definitely what we would need if we were to make
Given
any
the
sort of
level of the
haste.
casters we have, though. That will require us burn several ancient scrolls for that purpose. Again, this is something I would only rather do if it's of dire importance. But if the ProtoDGRs exist, and if there is some risk of them being seized, then
it would be a shame to waste them, would it?
Then it is the duty of we Nephilim of Pesodromos to ensure that they are left at rest. It is our service to Vestius. We are here to prevent such things from getting out of the cauldron. At that point, we will do what we must.
Thank you. We will rest and return once there's any information. We will figure things out beforehand.
I will gather together the tribunal members once we have found what we can from the journal, once we have cracked the cipher with Thorki's aid, and we will reconvene here. When you are ready this evening, come back and we shall discuss.
Thank you, sir.
Have a wonderful day, Atlius.
I'm going to try. I bet I'm not. I am glad to see that you're all relatively okay. I assume the others are resting and not dead.
Yes.
That's good to hear.
Blah.
Oh, an ethereal blast from beyond. Lexi Hendricks, my good friend, no. Well, now I'll give you whatever you want.
We will return.
He summons his wings again, and he takes back off into the skylight, heading out into the city to do whatever he needs to do. You guys return to the mansion, enter into it. All you guys, assuming that takes, like, the better part of an hour, most of y'all are still sleeping, right? Does anybody want to, over the next 8 hours, do anything in the mansion?
So, like, God.
Yeah, what's up?
Do I have my new spells?
Do you have you got your new spells, bro? What's up?
Hell yeah. Okay, just so I want to know, because I'll have cast one of them before they got back.
Given what they are, I bet I know which one it is.
I'm pretty sure you got an idea what spell I'm casting. Yeah.
Oh.
We're gonna die.
He hates all of us.
Death to us.
I don't want to die.
To death we go.
Whee!
Here we go. You cast Meteor Swarm.
I can't believe
the
Miriam
Nephilim have had it too good for too long.
I can't believe Velis is finally going to awaken and kill me.
Man, how terrifying would it be if I just suddenly revealed like one of you has just been Velis the entire time?
Oh my God.
Don't say it like
you know
that's
that thing
not
I
gonna
do where I
happen.
say the plot twists so as if they're funny, and then it's just exactly what I'm doing.
I was just thinking.
Don't.
It's like, well, he's
Are my eyes possessed by Velis? Is that what this is?
Is he in my eyes?
Are my eyes Velis?
Sunder
in the
puts
walls.
Sunder squints
Am
and
I
puts
an
on
eye,
sunglasses.
Dolan?
How terrible would it be if I was like, Sunder has been Velis the entire time?
Oh my God, I'd be fucking heartbroken.
Somebody had defeated Velis and lowered his intelligence so much when we gave it back to him, he remembered that he's Velis.
Remembered what he was.
Oh no!
Flux, what have you done?
This is on you, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's on him.
Oh god. So you're casting it. What are you doing with it?
I mean, I'm gonna just grab my new friend and wait for them to come back.
What kind of new friend is it?
They're gonna come back through the doors, and they're gonna see a bright white horse with a big fucking pair of wings on it.
You see a Pegasus.
Oh!
The fuck is that?
Hey.
Look.
You have some really cool helpers.
Did this do this? And I'm gonna gesture to the house.
No,
Is this
no,
a
I
house
did
thing?
that.
You what?
Yeah, this is something I figured out on the way back. I figured Quinn didn't have a horse, and
what?
I could make horses. This is Praxis.
You can make horses?
Well, I can make this specific one, although I can change them sometimes. Not going to though. I really like this one.
Did you change it so it can have wings?
Oh no, this one is Pegasus. They just have those.
Oh, okay.
What's its name?
Praxis.
I'm already like giving it scritches.
name is
and
Princess? What is the name?
Miss
Praxis.
Praxis.
Yeah.
Praxis.
Almost.
Hello.
It's the accent, shut up.
Don't worry, Lexi. Practice will make perfect.
Yeah, Dractus will make perfect.
Yep.
Hey, Lexi.
Auxiliary batteries.
Yeah, I had to name it quickly because if I left it alone, someone would have named it a food.
You're right.
And is there anything wrong with that?
Yes.
You brought it here for me.
I figured someone's gonna take care of you, and if we're splitting up and I'm not with you, then Praxis can, and you're better all around.
Oh my god.
Her name is Horsey.
He will slowly make like approaching Praxis. He will look it over. Hello, Praxis.
He understands common, so you can actually chat with him. He can't chat back because he is a horse, but
it nods. It nods at Miriam. It looks back to Quintus. It nods. It nods back at Miriam. It nods back.
This is Quinn Praxis. If you can, I would love for you to take care of him whenever I can.
It nods. It nods at Miriam. It nods at Quintus. It nods at Miriam.
This is wonderful. It's fantastic.
Gonna make for quite the entrance back in the land away.
He'll look a little hesitant as he pats on Praxis for a second and then just kind of gets thoughtful for a second. But I've never ridden another.
Oh.
I don't think he'd consider it cheating.
You're not betraying me. You're okay.
I also, from the brief exchange of information between our brains, don't think he thinks about much at all. But he is an old fella.
Praxis nods. It nods at Miriam. It nods at Quintus.
Praxis understands.
This horse is nodding a lot.
Oh.
Its head just going up and down.
I love him.
So cool.
It has a general understanding of where it is and why it's here, but it's still sort of catching up with itself.
I have no time to think on it too hard. Praxis, I need you to help us. Thank you.
The horse nods. It nods at Quintus.
Anyways, Quinn, I gotta get Praxis fitted for a saddle.
You then just see it go. And as it does, one of the unseen servants appears. Yes, sir. Holds an apple out to it as it eats the apple.
I was just about to offer it an apple.
Another apple. Another apple, sir.
Oh, that Pegasus is gonna get so fat.
Oh, I love you.
I'm glad my spirits can speak horse.
They serve my intention.
Quinn is being very thoughtful and very, very emotional. I want to scream.
Oh.
It's Peggy.
Yeah, we're gonna need them to quickly modify a saddle that can fit this guy. And I gotta pick some stuff up, so I'm gonna do a quick store run, and then I'm actually going to sleep.
Miriam.
Yeah.
Can I add one more thing to that list, if
I
you don't mind?
might kill you.
Will you, though?
You don't know.
I'm going to risk it.
Praxis
Will
nods,
you?
nods
Will
at
you?
Fenris and nods at Mary.
I'm also feeding. I'm cutting up an apple to feed him. Appy slices with peanut butter. Sorry, that needed to be said. Could you pick up just an emerald? I don't think that will be hard to find. There,
I'll
but if
try.
you
This is a
could.
place of art, but I'll look for it.
I would very much appreciate it. Thank you.
When it comes to
the cart.
when it comes to what we had spoken with Atlius about, we had told them, and they seem to be hesitant. If you do meet any of them outside, Miriam, I would try to keep things as close as you can.
Have you met me? I'm pithy as hell. It's fine.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't trust him, but it is very much, as the one closest to Vestius, I feel he will be the one hardest to convince.
That makes sense.
Are you sure you should go alone? We don't want you getting jumped.
Happy for the company. I'm just going to.
I could go again. I mean,
go.
You were yawning
go,
while casting
go.
spells earlier.
I'm feeling okay. I can take another trip.
I got 2 out. Okay. Fenris will concede.
Avi's essentially just pushing her towards like where the bedrooms are. Just go.
Yup. Thank you, Aviana. Keep him safe.
It's what I'm here to do.
If you see some cute horses, pet them for me.
I probably won't.
I want to
Praxis
walk over
nods
to
and nods at
Miriam and
Fenris
give
and
him
nods
a
at
big ol'
Aviana.
hug. I want to give Miriam a big ol' hug. You, I don't deserve you.
Nobody does, really.
Praxis
go
walks over
rest.
to both of you and sets its head on top of both of your heads.
I love horses so much. It would make me a horse girl all over again.
I'm so fucking much. I'll go and rest.
I'm gonna quickly... So I got Praxis on the combat tracker. I'm going to also throw it on the cohort part of your sheet for now, Quintus. And so you should have access to it. And you should be able to look at its stats from there if you go to the cohort part. It's got maximum hit points for the purposes of what we're doing. It's got the 91 hit points. It only has the 1 melee attack, but the fun thing about the boy is his saving throws are pretty good. Also, make sure to look into the riding proficiency stuff because that'll apply to him.
I'll have to look at my writing stuff and my Red Lion Knight stuff.
What its base is, but also because of the spell, if its int is less than 6, it becomes 6.
It's 10. Pegasus
he's
Pegasus
already-
and I are pretty smart.
They're real smart, yeah.
But it also has 60 feet normal speed and a fly speed of 90. He's pretty speedy.
Oh my god.
His AC is 12.
So fast.
So there's that.
Yeah,
but you
we
know,
gotta-
writing things.
We gotta get you some armor someday. I don't think that's a thing we can do in the short term, but for now.
I can make
Pegasus
people.
armor, though.
I can make people attack me instead.
You gotta get that made by the elves, so it doesn't slow them down.
Well, I guess we gotta go to Kahulis. Here we go, guys.
Oh, jeez.
How terrible.
I know, right? You'll never do that.
The Praxis will spend the entirety of the rest eating apples.
Amazing.
Good.
You know what? They seem happy. I'll wave a few servants over. Can you measure Praxis for me? I just need to know what... in fact, hold on. Buddy, do you even want a saddle? I don't know if you prefer to just go au naturel or not, looking at Praxis.
It looks up, it just like perks up, looks over towards you. It's sort of on its legs, like it's sort of sitting down on its footsies as it eats apples, and without standing up, its wings just furl out completely in the room you're in.
Yeah, no, I think he's good. Oh, goodness, I'll be back, right?
It moves its head. I like to imagine immediately, now that we have a Pegasus, I like to imagine it very much has the cartoonish, dog-like animated quality of the Pegasus from the Hercules movie. If you wish to, it has the energy of a smart, quirky dog.
I was just imagining when Hayden put in the thing from Tangled.
Yeah. It's a mix of both of them. Perfect.
When horses are dogs.
Am I able to ride it without a saddle, Logan?
I'd say so.
Okay.
Yeah, because a big thing with Pegasus is like putting a saddle on its own is already going to be a task.
It's true.
Yeah.
Actual picture of what?
It's accurate as hell. Goddamn.
That and I guess modifying one of their existing ones to fit it. Probably be a rush job anyways.
Yeah. We'll get him something later. We'll get him some cool shit. Right now, he good. He's fine.
Yeah.
Right. I'll head out for a brief shopping trip.
I'm going with him just to make sure he doesn't get jumped.
All right. What are you guys looking for?
Go.
All right. What are you looking for?
I need to find an emerald for Fenris, and I'm looking for a breastplate.
A femerald.
If you will.
1, 2, 3, 4. You're looking for breastplate for yourself?
Yeah.
Roll me, let's say, investigation as you look around.
I'm helping him.
Oh.
Hold on. Hold on. Perfect. Okay.
What?
Avi.
Don't worry about it. I just needed to know if something was true before I rolled.
So my intention coming on this shopping trip.
Okay.
Spring away from Miriam.
Since I'm doing my new things right now, before you finish your thing, Lexi, I'm also going to use Peerless Skill and inspire myself.
Yeah! Amazing!
You're playing a little
You're
tune,
so
doing
inspiring.
little ditty as you go around. Keep in mind, you can only do the searching for like an hour and a half. But yeah, go ahead. Add a thing to it. Go ahead and add your own bardic inspiration to your own die.
I have become so powerful. Where's 20?
It's 20.
Dirty 20! Woo!
All right.
Spend.
Avi, the intention that for coming on this shopping trip with you and Miriam was to like look out for like a gift for Miriam again, but there's a slight hitch in the plan. You remember when I went to jail? I lost all my stuff, so I don't have any money.
Are you pulling a Vogan and asking me for money, Lexi?
No, I'm just saying that it's weird that I'm here now.
They don't take money here.
Okay. Making sure. He's looked at my inventory and it's like 0, bitch. I'm like, oh.
I'm like, I have money in my inventory, and then I also have it in my fucking bag of holding that I still can't access, but I see it there taunting me. For when I made it.
Phrased that event as when I went to jail.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, let me count on my hand.
Died. Like, fuck.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they never took my money when I went to jail, but mind you.
Alrighty. So,
Might
you
have
are
to go
searching
back
for
to
an emerald
take
and
me
a
some bread,
breastplate.
fine.
Those are the main two things that Miriam is after, right?
Those are my focus, yes.
Okay. For the purposes of this, assuming that you find a vendor who is willing to work with the materials needed. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Give me a sec. Give me just a moment.
Never.
Oh, fine. As you look around and you try to find the breastplate in particular, you ask around about people that forge weapons and blacksmiths and such. And you are told to head towards there's a series of smiths who do most of the work for the city. They do most of the work for like the Fault Knights and whatnot, named Somithan, Trevos, and Arthos. You are directed in their general direction if you want to go. You are told They are difficult to work with because they don't seem to be able to stand each other, so they will be, you are warned ahead of time, they're a bit of a headache to get to make anything.
Alright. I will press on anyways.
Alright. Is there anything the other two of you along this way have decided that you want to do?
I'm just here to play guard duty, essentially. I know Lexi's looking for stuff, though.
Pops into a bush. I found a stick. Wait, fuck!
Oh, that's something I like, not something Mariam would like.
I'll whisper to
watching
Lexi.
him. I'm watching him. See if he
Is there
likes
anything
him.
in particular you're wanting to get him?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just want to get him something nice.
It's pretty broad.
I know. I mean, like, does it look like he's excited about anything?
I know he likes books. He likes knowledge. He likes touching things he shouldn't.
I know we had the other plan if he likes freshly baked bread, so that might be an easier thing to do.
We might want to avoid that one now.
Oh, well, why?
Well, with everything he found out, I feel like we should. Let's avoid that one. Let's find something that he can keep.
Okay.
I have an
watching
idea.
him, not subtly.
Avi's gonna stop and like ask someone around if there's like a place for like old books, maybe.
A place for old books.
Well, it's just like book or like art, like people who are like selling like obscure things, obscurities. Think like the Strange Things shop in Facade.
Roll me, roll me investigation.
You got it, buddy.
Beep.
Okay. You find out pretty readily that all reading material and whatnot...
Too better!
Ah, I see. Right, I forgot about that. You find out that the all written material here. First of all, they don't have a lot of books as you would generally know them because they don't have stuff from the outside. They only have what the Nephilim themselves have written or kept. And all their reading material is basically all kept in the Well of Records, which people can go to and take stuff from, but they don't like it when people like take it to keep it. It's they're fine with people going and reading and like keeping it stuff in the city, but they don't care for their literature being taken out of the city. And even those that like are authors and write poetry and stories and whatnot, they tend to donate it to the Well of Records so it can be enjoyed by future generations here.
Shit.
Remember, the Nephilim are really big on information in the cauldron, not leaving the cauldron.
Yeah, well, is that it's like anything weird? Anything weird that might have fallen through in any planar despoliations? Just looking for weird shit.
You got any fish on a board? We
got
don't
any
get
fish
something
on a
today,
board?
Abby. I'm just trying to keep an eye out or have ideas. And watch Miriam and see if his eyes like sparkle while looking at anything.
We'll look for sparkly
Good.
eyes on Miriam.
Yeah.
Got it.
Good to know that I shouldn't make him bread though.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm watching Miriam.
As you guys move through the city and follow Miriam, and as you approach what appears to be a large spherical building, like semi-spherical building that has an open, very large archway in the front of it, you smell the familiar smells of like ash and soot and wood coming from it that you would normally hear from normally smell from a blacksmith, as you've been to Legum's many times. As you approach, you hear muffled, distant, from inside the sealed building, muffled yelling. You can't really piece together what any of it is, and then you hear the clattering of metal, And you see the front door of this place, which is a large set of wooden double doors, break open as, like a discus, a shield seems to be thrown through the door, bursting it open, but also ripping off part of the front of it. It then careens across the road, strikes into a pillar, and then breaks into several rings of metal as it hits it. And you just hear from inside, "See? The design's all wrong! It would fall apart immediately!" And then just another, "It's the construction of the thing. If it had been made of more solid materials, it would have been better." And then finally the female voice, "But the way it looked was proper, was good for a Nephilim. To make it more sturdy would take away from that, you idiots!" And you just hear more arguing from the inside, continuing in that vein.
I like them already.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I march my way inside.
As you look inside, you see there is a bright fire. It is mostly dark, except it is illuminated by red coming out of a forge. You see the most muscular Nephilim that you've seen wearing what appears to be just a vest. They have very long silver hair with bright red undertones. Their eyes almost seem to glow as if capturing and reflecting the light of the forge. They're huge. They're not like Legum huge, but they are big. You see them holding up what looks to be another copy of the shield. And they seem to be waving it in the direction of another male Nephilim who appears to be small, almost like Lexi-sized. Their hands are kind of coiled inwards. For a second you think they look nervous, but their actual body seems to be relaxed. They just seem to be falling into this like raptor-like positioning of their body. They have a ponytail, otherwise pretty short hair, bags under their eyes. And between the two of them, there is a woman who is wearing what looks like a more ragged version of Fault Knight armor, as if only pieces of it had been assembled properly on them, as if to enhance the aesthetics of what are otherwise just regular commoner clothes. The three of them are bickering, arguing, waving bits of metal at one another, arguing about different things. They all seem to be caught up in this idea that there is a triangle that one must steer it more towards. At one point you hear them arguing about material worth, on the other hand, design and efficiency, and on another, arguing about the aesthetics of what they make. And as you poke your head in, as they swing this shield around, one of it almost strikes into the head of the smaller one. You see them back up slightly. Very calmly, they just shift their body back as it almost decapitates them. And they just continue arguing as if that hadn't happened. They don't seem to even notice you guys poking your heads in.
I'll just walk around while they keep going. I'll give them a bit to finish up. Take a look at what they have.
I'm gonna.
Oh no.
That's terrible. As you walk around and you walk like, in a circle around these three arguing, Miriam, can you please roll me a dexterity saving throw?
20.
They don't notice you, to the point that they continue to argue over their materials, and the larger one is like pulling weapons and shields from the walls, and at one point they like reach by you and like physically acknowledge you're there but don't look at you. They pull like a blade from the wall and swing it. At one point they swing it dramatically around them while showing off that it's a good weapon. The aesthetics shouldn't matter. It's strong and sturdy. As they swing it, you just sort of move back as it swings almost to where you are, and they begin gesturing with it in a way that almost strikes you, but you just sort of casually weave in and away from it and back up as they swing it dangerously in your direction.
It's just a normal day at Development House. He's used to it.
Eventually, the small one, you see the one that appears to be more concerned with the materials of it. You just see him be like, you can hear the clicking. It's not properly set together. The entire thing is. And then you see them look up. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I didn't want to interrupt.
You see them, they reach up, they pat the woman. And the woman's like, what? What is it? And they point over towards you. The other one turns. All three of them go completely silent. Then all of them become almost rigid. They put their hands together. Hi, yes, can we help you at all? Welcome to the best smith in Bezodromos. Do you need any assistance? We are here to help.
Yes. Sorry, I just loved that. You guys are done. You don't have to stop on account
all of them
us.
like look side-eye each other, and you see them beginning to visibly sweat.
Anyways, hello, hi, Miriam Lucius. Probably remember me from the moon thing the other day. Hope your day's good. I'm in the market for. I'm looking for a couple things. I need to find an emerald for a friend. I don't know if you guys even deal with jewelry. And I'm in the market for a breastplate.
You see the woman just being like, I'm afraid that we don't, but we should be dealing with gemstones if we knew what was good for us, as they dig their elbow into the larger man's. Putting jewelry on our weapons will not make them stronger. He just mutters to the side to them. I'm afraid that we can't help you with that. However, if you're looking for just armor, then we can absolutely help you. You are the small one perks up. They're the highest standard. They're the people from outside, right?
That's us.
Yeah, I heard you guys were stalking around. I was wondering if we'd get to see you.
Oh, I'm happy we didn't disappoint.
I'm Trevos.
A pleasure, Trevos.
This is Samithan. Point my motions up to the larger man. And this is Arthos. And I'm really sorry about how loud they are.
Nah, this is delightful.
I guess you can tell us what you need made. We'll get it for you. We understand that you're gonna bring back Colletes for us. We actually thought you guys took off already.
Ideally, you should be back in a few days.
Okay.
I'll be needing a breastplate. Something a little heavier than what I'm wearing currently.
Looks at you, looks up and down your armor. Makes sense. Everything you're wearing right now is all showy. Leather armor? That's not gonna protect you from fucking anything. And what's this? He like pokes the gemstones on it. See? Watch this! He grabs a hammer, raises it up as if about to strike you, and the woman reaches up and grabs it from over his head. Excuse me, don't be doing that! I was gonna show him! Yeah, see, that wouldn't have protected you from that, would it? Oh, I see what I did.
Probably not.
Oh my goodness.
I'll, just take your measurements, if that's okay.
That sounds great. We'll start there.
Now, I think you can tell we make a variety of things for a variety of purposes. Are you looking for something that's a bit more sturdy, a bit more effective? Or are you looking for something that's a little bit more, dolled up, a little bit more showy?
Are you here to protect yourself or do some damage?
Wow.
Go away, Crackatees. We don't need you in here.
He's been banned from the forge.
We're fully staffed. Get out of here.
I'm just trying to keep myself breathing, although I can't say I dislike Flare. As he strikes a pose with his cape.
You see the Arthos' eyes light up. Actually, your armor looks a little bit familiar. I think I've seen it somewhere.
You've seen Deus Yankovic?
This is Deus Yankovic?
It is.
You're wearing a constelliquary! They rush to you. They begin like holding up the cape and putting their hands everywhere they can over it as they seem to just begin caressing your armor. I never thought that we'd see one of the constelliquaries here, especially one of Lucia, who is, in my opinion, one of the most fabulous, if not the most fabulous of the gods. Why did you bring this here? Why didn't anyone tell us that you had this?
I have no idea. I feel like it would be remiss of me not to show you the barrel knife.
They throw their arms around you.
Why would you ever want to get rid of this?
I'm not trying to get rid of it per se. I'm just trying to put it in the hands of someone who can use it a bit better than me.
Oh, I accept.
I mean her. I'll point over at Lexi.
Oh. Oh, I suppose that makes sense.
If you'll have it.
But, I mean, Mary, we've been over this. That's a lot for you to give me, and I don't have anything to give you, and you've already given me so much. It's a lot.
I just want us all to stay alive. And I think that me wearing something heavier than this is going to be better for me right now. And I think you can use everything attached to this far better than I ever can.
I want all of us to stay alive, too. It's not fair for you to put it like that.
You don't have to. I mean, I'd still want the breastplate for tonight. And then if you ever decide to take it, I'll have something to put on instead of just being very nude. Well, in my floppy pajamas. You know, flap his big sleeves.
If you think the best thing is for me to take it, I can take it.
I think so.
I agree.
I don't want to force it upon you, but...
Well, I just feel bad because I don't have anything to give you in return.
Gifts aren't given in an expectation for them to be given back. That's trading. It's barter.
Well, that's fair.
Besides, saved my life a couple times. I don't know. We'll be even. Do it all the time anyways.
I'm gonna give him a big hug. Okay. Thank you.
The woman is still just wrapped around Miriam as you do so. Their hands just like they're wrapped, like hugging you from behind. They're slightly taller than you, and their hands are just wandering the front of it.
Hey, Miriam.
Yeah?
You finally have a lady on you. You did it.
Yeah.
Am I not supposed to do this? Is Quincy's going to be angry at me?
No.
Okay, good.
It's so deceptive. It's like it's made out of leather.
It's got metal studs on the underside as well.
Oh, I mean, it's not made out of leather, that's the thing.
Sure, I guess it's theosite, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what theosite is. I'm not supposed to tell you anything about that because it's from in here. But I will if you ask me to.
You should tell me about theosite.
I love her.
You're not supposed to go to the mid-spiral, but if you do, there used to be big deposits of it. It's like gemstone. But there's the guy a long time ago who figured out how to transmute it into other types of materials. Ones that bring life to the imagination. The gods' original weapons were made out of it. And there'd be a lot more of it in the world if...
Is that Greg?
I guess at some point it all just disappeared. Huh?
Is that Greg? Greg?
I don't know.
Oh.
The name of them. They're referred to as, what was it? I think that old documents call them the man with chaos or something stupid like that. But he made a whole bunch of our shit.
Yeah, I want him to teach me stuff. I want to find that guy.
Well. You didn't find Deus Yankovic here, did you? In the cauldron?
No, I stole it from a vampire.
Oh, then I guess you could take it outside. You didn't find it here, you don't gotta leave it.
You just slowly slump down.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be here for a little while if you want to take a look at it in the time being. I will take the time to grasping the cave and allow him to inspect it thoroughly.
Oh.
Arthos does so. At the same time, as she looks at that, Samithan we'll introduce you to various types of armor that they have to delineate the whole thing. Are you looking for armor that is kind of in the style of stuff the Nephilim get made, or are you looking for any? You're looking for breastplate, that's for certain.
Yeah. Yeah, functionality is definitely the most important. If they have a design they lean to.
When you say that, some Ethan just like pounds his hand into his fist. Yeah, it is. See, it's got to do its job. Trevor's beside them, just.
The aesthetics of the Nephilim are usually in complementary colors to me, so I can't say that would be upsetting to me at all.
Arthos in the corner, and you're welcome for that.
Thank you.
And I make sure it doesn't all fall apart, but that's cool.
I mean, that's really important, so I'm proud of you for that.
Sure.
I get that.
So we'll take your measurements and we'll get something back to you. Might take us, we can probably modify something we already have. Give us a day.
We can do a day.
Okay.
I'm not getting new art.
That's fine.
You guys keeping the same art for a while.
You just got that new art. I'm not shocked.
I might get new art of Lexi if we have a spare slot in the schedule. But I don't want to get new art of Miriam then, because then Miriam and Lexi will be fucking wearing the exact same thing and look like twinsies.
Oh no!
No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till I have 2 slots open and get them both done at the same time. Otherwise, it's gonna look real weird.
Oh, we're gonna look so good. Oh my god.
No, I need Chibi Floppy, Miriam, and Lexi both in days.
He's like,
yes.
So you
moving so fast, you can't tell where one ends and the other begins.
One of us tells the truth, the other one always lies.
With breastplate coming, they set to work on that. They start bickering with each other about the exact aesthetics that should go into it, the design of it. Immediately, they start throwing things around in the forge. The same energy sort of kicks back up. Go ahead.
I was gonna yell over the commotion. So you don't do jewelry?
Unfortunately not.
Does anyone you know do jewelry?
We do some when it's for the Fall Nights and whatnot, but you'd have to bring stuff to us to get it made. Do we know who does jewelry? Yeah, you should be able to find some stuff at the House of Plenty, in theory.
They tend to have all of our
Okay.
normal traded goods there, yeah.
Because I have shit I want to get made into jewelry. So, okay, cool.
Oh.
Oh, we're gonna have to
we'll
figure
go
out what to do with
there.
your cape, Lexi. Are you gonna be able to keep
Dude, I'm
the
looking
green
at all my
mantle?
shit and I'm like, what?
You
I'm like, what do I do?
Well,
What do I
keep
do?
in mind for Constellar
Oh,
queries,
God.
you only have to unequip. They can both fill the same attunement
They
slot.
count one attunement slot, yeah.
So you only have to unattune from one thing. However, just art-wise, I'm like, you're probably gonna have to lose the green cape.
It's fine. Vogan can have it. He can fly.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
That's
Well,
the
it's the red scarf that makes her fly.
We'll discuss
Which
when the
actually
time
will
comes. We'll
match,
discuss
you know?
art, but because when Miriam first put Deus Yankovic on, it changed a bit to accommodate him. There's no reason it can't change a bit to accommodate Lexi.
Ah.
However, it'll keep its basic overall shape, which does include the cape, which is kind of a
side cape,
cultural
yeah.
icon related to it. It wouldn't lose
Such
that.
a rebellious icon on Lexi, which honestly
Good
is
old
more
fucking-
accurate on Lexi than it is on Miriam.
3 homes Kolesh, 3 capes Hendrix.
Let's go,
baby.
One's a scarf.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
She's like one of those girls on Tinder that wears like 7 hoodies.
Yeah.
Their profile.
You guys,
God.
for the sake of delineation, you guys are pointed back towards the House of Plenty, and the gemstones you're looking for. Are you looking for the emerald? Is that the main thing?
Yeah. Vendor said they needed an emerald.
For the purposes of what we're doing, again, because I just don't want to spend a massive amount of time having people be in the background. You would be able to find one. They would, knowing that you are going to get qualities and already knowing you've done a lot of good for the city, they would readily part with it. So you would get that emerald. It's one that is quite large, cut quite well. It's kind of cut into a coin-like shape. It is wider and than it is
It's kind of like a little
thin and
fat
wide.
gem?
Yeah, a little fat gem that perfectly suits what Fenris would want to do with it, which is to like hold it up to their eye to look through it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Oh, like the Eye of the Fates. Okay, I dig it.
I have a spell.
Is there anything else you guys are looking for?
That's it for Miriam.
Okay.
Lexi,
Oh, I'm good.
are you good? Like, Avi was gonna try to find someone who knows how to make shit into fucking jewelry, but if not, then we Gucci.
You
and...
want a craftsman who can actually make jewelry.
Yeah.
Hey.
What are you looking for exactly?
I have. I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking for. I have this fucking mithril dragon horn that I've had 5 ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And Avi wants to get rings made out of it. A set.
Oh, dude,
of
you can get
rings.
that done. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You find a jeweler, again, just trying to keep things kind of speedy. You would find one, the horn, it's a horn, right? It's from
It's a horn.
The mithril dragon that you guys fought in the Underdark.
Yeah.
And she maybe wants to get one made a little bit more for a male size. Maybe she's future-proofing
How
some
many
shit.
do you want
Who knows?
made? Because with the size of it,
So
you could
fucking
probably
romantic.
get up to like 5 made. I mean, it's rings and it's
She wants to just get one that is made for her ring size and one that's maybe made for a male ring size. Who knows what she plans to do with this shit in the future? Who
They would
knows?
tell you also to come back the next day.
That's fine. She wants to keep most of it, but if they can take some and make some rings out of it, then
They wouldn't need to
that's
take
cool.
that much. They would chop off like a third of it, and it's like the thin third of the horn. And they're like, yeah, no, I mean, it's rings.
Cool.
For the purposes of bartering, they ask that in exchange for making this, they ask to keep let's say there's like 3/3, which I guess there always would be for everything on account of things being all of what they are. But if we cut it into thirds, they would ask, they'll make the rings out of 1/3. They'd like to keep a third to craft with as effectively payment,
Yeah.
and then they can leave the other third with you. Does that sound good?
That's more than fine by her.
Okay, that's what they'll do.
All right, we return.
Yep.
All right,
Mhm.
and then you guys
Not
return
touching on that.
back to the mansion. Mansion crew, is there anything you guys would like to do with the day?
Get my honk shoes in. I would like to sleep.
You're getting your sleeps in. All right, everybody. In that case, I'm going to give the whole party a long rest.
Yes.
And you guys would find that you are all collectively rested and ready to go around 4 p.m.
Most of this day is going to be, I think, us waiting around and kind of just planning for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We would probably
Rusty's
make our way
over by
out.
now, right?
Yeah, we'd probably make our way out of the thing just to be around for whenever they need us, I guess. Like just to make ourselves known that way. Whenever they're ready to talk to us, we'll be ready. But mostly it'll just be resting, I guess,
Yep,
and
they-
like hanging out.
I told you guys whenever you're ready to return to the Grand Hall of the Sun Keep, and then things will go from there.
We have the day we're not traveling today.
Well, we didn't sleep for the night. We got here at 7 in the morning, and then we did all that, and then we
And then they
rested
have to-
until
and they have to wait
it's like dinner
until-
time.
Yeah, they have to wait until tomorrow morning to get their stuff anyway.
Yeah, we'll have
cool.
a light dinner. We'll go just sit somewhere visible until we're ready to go in all together.
Doesn't have
We
to
can
be
go
a
meet
big
up with them.
thing, but Quinn would invite Lexi out to like go and hang out at the garden area maybe. If you want to hang out at garden area.
You would need Nephilim
Would
to.
love
I
to
guess you
hang
can
out
both
in
fly,
garden
right? So
area.
you can get up
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I have a wee horse now.
You also have boots.
on the wee horse.
I will remind you guys, not that I'm trying to push you to do anything, but the Nephilim, just to be clear, they're waiting on you, not the other way
Oh,
around.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're not gonna come get us.
They have been doing this all day, and they have basically been ready for a while. They would have tried to relay that whenever you're rested and ready to meet, they will have probably done what they need to do.
And we'll wait on the wingy
To the
horse
sun-
fucking garden thing.
All right. So you guys head to the Grand Hall?
Yeah.
Okay. As you do, whenever you go there, you pass by several Fault Knights and whatnot. You once again pass by Hecatile, who is the advisor of Stosidri. They beckon you in towards the Grand Hall, which now has more protection as you enter. The local members of the Solar Tribunal are there. You see that there is Theodosia, Stosidri, and Atlius, and Mercury. You see, though you haven't seen them, like, on it before, you see Atlius is sitting on the throne, and he is poring through what appears to be a blue journal. He has another page of script that he keeps looking to and referring it. You see he's most of the way in. He's, like, a little bit over, like, 3/5 of the way through this relatively thin-looking journal. It's not like a big book. It's kind of the thickness of, like, a notepad you might buy for, like, school. But as he's looking through it, they all look up to you. You see Mercury, their face lights up briefly as they wave over to you guys. Hey, everyone!
Hello.
We have been informed of what you need to do, and I believe we generally understand the situation.
I can try to reiterate as much as I can if needed.
See, Atlius,
well, I've slept.
Without
so...
looking up, Atlius just speaks up. The situation as we understand it is that the Proto-DGRs are at risk of waking up, being taken control of by the family, and we need to send a lot of you to stop it. That is what matters immediately. You detect a much more dour mood from him. It appears everything you said before, Quintus, is true. Unfortunately. The existence of this information, as well as that Undercroft, which Colletes left instructions on how to reach, and we have verified the existence of, they're alarming, to say the least. This information, it borders on heretical. Well, that is not what we need to focus on right now. The safety of the Cauldron and those that are in the outside world are at risk. I have considered your earlier request. We are going to send a nigh inconsequential force of our own people to rescue Colletes, under promise that we will allow a small number of the Kaijo of Rexfang Wall into that Undercroft. We need Colletes back. If he knows how to get to the Sword of Damocles, then we absolutely need him. Immediately. Colletes left notes on where the DGRs are, the Proto-DGRs. Given the designations 01 through 03, the depictions of these are frightening. If even one of them were to be turned on Pezodromos, it would be cataclysmic. And if any of them got outside, they would instantly overshadow any technology you have access to in the outside world. This bothers me. So I must ask, if you were to retrieve them, you see his gaze goes to flux. This will put you in a position where you would be able to seize control of them yourselves. I fear that... Sorry, I must ask. What are your intentions for these beasts?
Continued rest? I believe.
We were told that they... Yes, we were told that they would most likely prefer to stay inert. They have their own thoughts and their own personality. If possible, we would allow for them to stay rested. If needed to combat the Sword of Damocles, we would ask for their aid, if possible. But mostly to stop the family from awakening them and using them for their own nefarious deeds.
According to these notes, they were constructed to aid the Sword of Damocles. They are, in a sense, siblings. They're related. The DGR units
They were created using the Sword of Damocles as a point of reference. The sword, though, it's downright deific compared to the others, if this information's to be believed. I do wonder if you even could turn them on it. But this is good. If your answer is that you would let them rest, then that is what we ask. Especially because I fear the only way that they could be removed. According to these notes, they possess the ability to teleport around. They possess what are called astral transmission drives. But most of them were damaged beyond repair. Meaning the only way that they could escape the cauldron is to break into and out of any of the old world towers, and we don't know what kind of damage that would cause. If I have your word you will leave them where they are, then I feel comfortable sending you to do this.
We have no want for power here. We only wish to stop what's happening.
Kind of
and
power
bring Diane to
want
justice.
can't be given to me by them anyways.
Agreed.
Alright. So.
Indeed.
Their locations, they're spread relatively thin around the area. DGR-001 is the only one that we know the definite position of. Or at least the only one that we know where it is specifically. The Necrovasilis Desert, to the northwest of the Cauldron. It is in a location called the Heatwell. It is apparently buried underneath it. The other two, I don't know whether 2 or 3 are at the other ones, but one is located somewhere around Vathis Bay, which is in the Apisimos Expanse. And the closest one is in the Guardian Peaks, which, if we were up above, I'd be able to point out to you from here. The desert is the farthest one. What is your plan for retrieving them? Do you have a way to get there more quickly? The desert is just about as far as you can get in the Cauldron from here.
If we are taking a small force, which is to say, just a few of us and your guard that you are sending to potentially get us back, then I think the furthest one could be something that I can do now, thanks to Miriam. I can take somebody with me. No, I can take someone with me, and me and my new steed could potentially make our way to the furthest one away.
You see, Stocidi speak up. As you all leave, we will take many of the Fault Knights and Fault Hawks and formed an armed escort for the Kaijo. We're going to make sure they don't try anything, but it will take us several days to get them back here. Luckily, since we all have the ability to fly, it will take us less time than it took you to get there. By the time you all return from doing this, we should have Kalatis back. As well as some guests.
That's perfect.
Okay, so we're looking at the desert, the peaks, and where'd you say? Somewhere along the coast?
Atlius raises his hand, and you see like a small mote of magic falls like into the ground before, in front of you all, and spreads out. As it does, it once again forms a map of the cauldron.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh. And this is how I drew the map, Quintus.
Oh! That's so cool!
Huh.
He points up. Yep. Points up to the locations of them. Yep, there, and there. Those are where they are.
We should.
This bay, could it be underwater?
It's possible.
Oh.
Something we'd have to take into account on the way out.
For some reason, only DGR-001 is really extensively documented.
Well, Flux should most likely go to the one here.
Guardian Peaks. I think you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can get to the one far off, thanks to the mount now.
I can fly pretty fast. I could probably accompany you there.
I can do any of them, really. I'm experienced in living in a desert.
Mm-hmm.
And the Guardian Peaks is nice because I'm lazy and it's close.
Would your magics be useful in aiding underwater exploration?
Not particularly. Not more than anyone else.
Then perhaps you should go with Flux.
Flux, roll me perception.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
Flux, the PML, the pommel that you are wearing on your chest, those same tiny lights that were on it begin to turn on again.
Oh.
Whoa.
The PML is reacting to something.
Whoa.
As it happens, you hear some commotion from outside. You feel a rumbling under your feet. You hear footsteps as rushing into the chamber. You see Hecatiel stepping in rather frantically, yelling over at DoolerJCD. We have something that you need to see. Something's... It's hard to explain. Something's coming out from the sea. DoolerJCD immediately forms their wings and flies forward. As they do, as they leave and several Prisma guards follow them. Flux, you feel your attention be pulled upward as you turn your head almost instinctively towards the ceiling as something impacts the top of the Sunkeep.
Uh-oh.
There is a shake as you hear just this... as something crashes into it. Several stones dislodge inside the chamber. Dust pours down from cracks. Nothing collapses inward. But, something does crash.
I think we should go see what that is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Several Prisma guards that are left. Atlius looks around, look of annoyance on his face, and he motions to them to grab you guys. If you would allow them to, those of you that can't fly would be... Or can any of you not fly? Is it basically just Vogan?
It's me! It's me, I can't fly.
Saves the spell, but yeah, I can just cast it on myself.
I have no way of flying. I don't even have the spell.
Do you guys choose to...
It should be Vogan, Sunder, Miriam, and Fenris.
Yeah, and anyone else can also mount with Quintus, because a horse can definitely carry 2 people.
Dang.
Alright, and the full horse would have come in, by the way.
Come, Fenris! Yeah!
Okay, those that
amazing.
For the purposes of delineation, some of you get onto the horse. You guys head up to the Starlight Garden. You see that nearby the amphitheater that was up there, there is a crater in the top of the theater now, and something in the center of it is just smoldering. You see flames, smoke is pouring up from it, and as you look upwards, you see the sky is beginning to darken somewhat. A distant sound of thunder cracks. You're on point, music. Good job.
That was good, yeah.
I did that intentionally.
You hear a mechanical rumbling coming from the crater, as if something's trying to move. You see several chunks of the building have collapsed on top of whatever's buried there.
We approach it.
Yeah.
You?
Might as well.
Trying to fly over to get a good look.
As the smoke begins to clear, you see something pushing up from underneath as you recognize what appears to be Flux. You would recognize it immediately. What appears to be a DGR Unit 19 Sagitta, except as you see it, you see this same one is covered in vines and dirt and has a massive piece of metal slicing into under just where its ribcage would be piercing into it, as you recognize the same one that had flown off from you before, pushing itself up, trying to push bits of the Sunkeep off of it. You see one of the large shoulder pads, the beams that go backwards, has snapped off and broken, and as it pushes itself up, it's having a strange amount of difficulty as you see one of its arms is no longer there from the elbow down. It only has its right arm in full now. As it looks up to you, it turns, pushes the bits of the Sunkeep off itself, seems to stand up in full, looks over to you, Flux, and then you see its lights die down and it falls backwards, hits the ground and lays inert.
No, gonna approach it and just, I don't know what I'm expecting to be able to do to help. He's just gonna fly over and like, I don't know, see if he can, I don't know, the fucking DGR equivalent to first aid.
Oh my god.
Aww.
As you get over to it, as you rush up to it, the lights sputter back on, softly. They're very dim as it looks towards you, and it raises its one remaining hand, and it puts it over you almost as if to shield you from something above it. But it also looks... It's weird, it obviously can't express anything, but you get a sense of confusion from it, Flux.
Oh, what is the matter? What did this to you?
Its hand turns, and it points it slowly and kind of pathetically almost out towards the bay.
Oh no.
Guardian Peaks are already being hit.
As it does.
Oh no. Are we too late?
The sky begins to darken. You see a golden radiant light coming out from the direction of the ocean as something begins to rise up in the distance from it. And it's miles away at this point. Despite this, you guys can see something that appears to just be this glowing angelic form, these huge golden wings pulling themselves up from the water, surging upwards, large enough that when they do, they cause a wave to shift and crash into the shoreline. A massive Goliath, this metal thing, a titanic being, begins pulling itself up from under the ocean. Its two hands clasping in front of it what looks to be the handle of a massive blade that as it rises up, you see golden energy forming the edges of it. As what has the aesthetics of a DGR unit, but is truly titanic inside, pulls itself up, rising to the point that even from miles away you can see it clearly, as you see...
No.
Oh.
Where are you? Where are you?
Well, dicks.
One moment. Fantasy Grounds is doing a thing. Oh, that's why. That's why it's doing a thing. Fantasy Grounds, you're ruining my moment. Fantasy Grounds. Where the fuck is it?
Throwing off my groove.
Throwing off my groove! As you see, there it is. This.
Whoa!
Oh my
God!
God!
Uh-oh.
And real quick, real fast.
Oh no.
Because as human beings, our understanding of scale is difficult.
I was gonna ask.
I've prepared this wonderful little...
Or like pinky toe size.
I've prepared this
So
wonderful...
small. Oh god.
Oh my god!
Like I said, dwarfs! Dwarfs
As
them!
you see these mechanical wings spread out, so bright that they make the light around it appear almost darkened. Golden sections of it brimming with what looks like energy coursing through channels on its body. The edges of the blade made of this shimmering golden energy, and the wings being formed from, again, it almost looks like a solid material, but you can tell it is a shimmering, golden magical light that is bursting forth from the wings. A similar one erupting from a plume on top of its head, as if it were a knight. As it looks up, you can hear it moving from miles away. With each movement of its body, you can hear mechanical clanking. A dark cloud pulls up behind it as what seems like a storm, but you can tell, Flux, you can, at this point, you come to realize is likely just steam caused by its contact with the water when it was in it just now, pulls in behind it, causing it to have this shadowy image until all that is left of it in this rolling cloud of steam that begins to pull over the island, all you can see through it are the dimmed golden elements of it, giving it this grim but angelic look. As it shifts down, the blade points forward towards the city, and it begins rushing inland at insane speeds. And as it does, given that we're at 3 hours and 34 minutes, I think that's where we're going to stop for this
The
week.
upside, guys. Now we only have 2 places to go.
Great!
Cool!
Silver
Awesome.
linings.
That's great news!
Did we at least get our shit? So Miriam's got the clink clink plate, you know?
Nope.
So well, dicks and bricks. Well,
Yeah, 'cause
you
that
know.
was later the same day.
Yep. Listen, I'm trying to be helpful, motherfucker.
I am so... I've been sitting on this arc so long. I'm so happy. So happy.
So cool.
Isn't it though?
The fuck do we
beautiful.
do?
My love
We
of
can't
night,
fight this.
anything is
Nope.
screaming.
Ryuji, I'm sorry.
DGR
fight
001
this.
Excalibur.
Oh.
I scared my dog with yelling.
Yeah, we might have to wake up the other two.
I feel like
our
I did
hands
not
would
pick.
tie here.
I instantly feel like I did not pick the right spells.
Now imagine. Now imagine.
Oh no.
The
not
sword of
like
Damocles
Ain't that just
is
Fenris's
the
life?
the sword of Damocles is supposedly bigger than this.
As it Gynax poses out of the spiral convergence.
Oh my god.
Arcane, where'd this word come from in this world? Well, from it.
Yeah.
It's called the Excalibur. It's not named after anything. It's just the Excalibur. That's its name.
Don't worry about it.
Damn.
All words are made up.
Logan,
Yeah?
out of curiosity, is Excalibur being piloted by a dagger unit? Someone piloting the dagger
Guess
unit?
you'd have to open it up and find out.
Well, get to
I feel
work.
like I already know the answer.
Amazing.
Oh, so this is what it feels like to be on the other side of Gurren Lagann.
Ah.
It's
This
terrifying.
is what the bad guys felt like.
I don't like
we at
it.
least cast heat metal on this one.
The whole thing heats up, the ozone starts to burn.
Yeah, I was like, these things are supposed to try and get through those towers. Motherfucker's gonna bust the cauldron wide open.
Oh, gosh.
I thought you liked playing Vestige, Logan.
What the fuck, right?
Ended.
I did. I was talking to, I think it might have been Carrie the other day, where I was like, I think it was you, Fenris. Fenris.
Fenris.
Wow,
Sorry, I'm still in
amazing.
DMing mode. We're talking to you about how DMing the campaign has always been interesting for me because so much ended up sticking in Summergrass, right?
Yes, we were talking about this yesterday.
You guys, you got into Summergrass, and it was D&D, and it had Somnus Domina stuff, but for the most part, it just felt like D&D in someone's setting, the kind of the way it always is at every table, just with our specific stuff. And I was sitting there just never wanting to rush things, but always being like, we haven't really gotten to do in Summergrass the stuff that makes Somnus Domina in my mind worth being its own setting. And as soon as you guys, and then you did Honokuni, and that was kind of the same thing, but as soon as you got to the Cauldron, I was sitting there being like, fucking finally, 120 episodes in.
Time for ancient Greek Gurren Lagann. Let's go.
Here's the stuff.
Yeah.
The Cauldron is full of the stuff that makes this setting the setting, and I'm so happy
Freaking
we're
Lagann.
at it.
Watch as the Acropolis splits in half and a sword bursts through it.
Yeah. Now watch as we destroy this lovely, beautiful setting that Logan has put together. Because we took too damn long, and now our cauldron's gone.
Now your robot's gone.
Heck.
It's so
That's what
if the cauldron ever is quote-unquote gone, that either means it's been destroyed, which I feel is bad because it's like the locus of the material plane to some degree, and if it's ever busted, then it's going to encroach on the material plane, which is also bad. If anything happens to the cauldron ever, it's bad.
Yup.
It's true. It's true.
We're a little fucky-wuckied here,
For
y'all.
when it eventually comes out,
How
by the
many-
way, people at home, the setting guide does have any DGRs that show up in the game, asterisk, are including the proto-DGRs, are going to be in the setting guide, as well as instructions on how to pilot a DGR. So if you want to do a mech game, go ahead. I got you.
Oh, shit.
It's a bit of an extra read, but it's there.
You're so cool, Logan.
No, shut up, you.
It's true.
I was gushing
Flattery
about
won't
you
help with your
yesterday.
survival.
No, no.
That I know.
Handsome and strong.
I was gushing about your writing and like world building yesterday when I was at lunch with my friend Natalie, though, so it was kind of true.
Oh. She gush at me about how cool I am.
I do.
You just told me to shut up because I told you that.
Yeah, do it. Shut up, but also
Yeah,
keep
shut up,
going.
you.
No, fucking Aaron knows what it's gonna be. No, stop.
Stop.
No, no,
Stop
no,
it.
stop.
Stop.
Waving hands at self. No, please, no more. No, stop.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
You don't stop. Don't stop. Keep doing it. No, stop, please. I'm not that good. Please tell me how cool I am. I have low self-esteem. No.
Yup.
I just love to think that whenever Diane had captured Calates, like they were alone together, it's just like, and let me tell you about Quintus Valorbill.
My God!
I would like
and let me just fucking tell you about this character.
So, Diane came here expecting just frame build, expecting Warforged. So I'd like you to imagine the conversation when they interrogated Calates and the proto-DGRs and controlling them comes up, and Diane just like has to lean back in a chair and be like, oh! Oh!
All right, if we break into Crazy Dale's garage, he's got a bunch of guns that'll help us fight off the zombies.
Points
Opens
at
the garage, there's a fucking king tiger inside.
Points at fucking DGR 19. Like, fucking these? It's like, no, those are the small ones. What? What do you mean?
Small?
Oh. Anyhow. YouTube, that'll be all for today. We're going to take off, especially because some of us definitely need to find ways to beat the heat.
So,
I'm about to domestic violence the heat.
Yeah. We need to collectively raise our hands and punch out the heat.
Yeah.
So, we
Yeah.
will see you next week, YouTube, with this. With this thing. With all that.
Again.
And it'll definitely only take 1 week, so there's not going to be a weird gap between things on the next week.
Totally.
Right?
Yes, we gotta protect Pesodromos. So if I don't get this breastplate now, it's gonna be like 3 months until I can get it.
Guys, it's true. I did something stupid and romantic. I want that. And also your breastplate.
Oh. Alright. Goodbye, YouTube.
Goodbye.
Adito.
Avis toes.
Nah.